Hey, I'm live and I'm sipping chamomile tea. Chamomile? Chamomile. From a TARDIS cup, and I have pretty much nothing else to say. So here I am sipping tea. Because I can, and you can't stop me. Yeah, today is a bonsai day, so I'm tired. My hair is all still kind of damp from showering. And, tea. I mean, the title's accurate if I just sit here and sip tea for however long it takes me. I could always randomly screech. Okay, you have fun, paper vampire. Hey! Hello! Yeah, I'm just sipping tea. I don't really have anything in particular to say. It's just, yeah. Now I can say I went live, right? No, sometimes when I'm live streaming and I have tea, I forget about my tea and it goes cold. So I'm prioritizing the tea sipping. And then if anything talking happens, well, bonus, right? Oh, we made so many bonsai today. I did one customer's tree. It was a pine. But mostly just, yeah, making a whole lot of bonsai. Yeah, so how's things? I wonder if anyone looked at the title of this live stream and got excited about me actually sipping tea. Like, not as a joke, but legitimately excited about me sipping tea. Except because I'm so focused on sipping tea, I'm probably drinking it a little bit faster than I really need to. Because I could drag this out for like 20 minutes and the family will still be distracted. Maybe I can afford to talk a little bit. Yeah, no, hello. Anyway, okay, so apart from bonsai, I think we made like 34 bonsai today between me and my boss. And that was despite like a lot of distractions and yeah, I had a few customers come in. So my boss went off to, talk to them about what do they need and blah blah blah. I just do the actual like work side of things. I don't really deal with customers, though I did put a sale through for a pot because my boss was still off with the customers. But yeah. But no, bonsai have been really popular. So we've been needing. Oh my god, there's not a whole lot left. Bonsai, they've been really popular at our nursery. I guess like, are they always this popular? I don't know. I feel like this year they're more popular than they were last year, and maybe it's because so many people are at home and maybe looking for bonsai to like liven things up, or or maybe they're home so they can actually water them. There are some people who buy bonsai and don't water them and then wonder why they're dead. That's the easiest thing, right? Just remember to water it every day, or maybe a bit more in summer when it gets really hot. But also, some people don't choose the right species of bonsai for like their situation. Apparently, maples are really difficult to get to work in Sydney conditions. You have to really pay attention to maples. They're not really the first tree you would have a go at if you're in Sydney. I think because hello, Martin 1996. Do you want to guess how old I am? It's okay, I won't be offended. Some people don't want to guess my age because they think I'll get upset or whatever, but I really don't give a shit. 24. Ooh. Hey, at least appearance-wise, I've hit my 20s, right? No, I'm 32. I'm pretty old. I'm an old fart now. I can shake my walking stick at all the kids. Yeah, wow. No, for a while there were people who I think like even 2 years ago. Yeah, I get that a lot. Even 2 years ago, I went on a cruise. Oh my god, I still haven't posted the cruise videos. 2 years ago, I had people on the cruise asking me like, so how's school? What are you gonna do when you finish school? And I'm like, I finished school like half a lifetime ago. What are you talking about? I'm in Sydney, Australia. I'm half Japanese, if you're talking ethnicity. Oh fuck, you're one of those people. I'm gonna block you. Go away. Go away. Remove that comment first, because I don't need your like just don't ask your fetish stuff. Like, I know what you're doing. I'm 32. I wasn't born yesterday, and I don't appreciate people coming around doing that. So, um, bye. Oh, look at all that. All those messages gone. Oh, and I think he was just leaving another. Oh, I can view deleted message. Ooh, what's your name? What do you think my name is? Like, geez. Yeah. Anyway. No, we don't need those kinds of people, do we? Like they still think they can get away with it, the fake people. Like if you're gonna be into that kind of stuff, at least be honest. That's what pisses me off the most. Yeah, we can wait for the glasses nutcases to come around. Like you can be into whatever you want. That's fine. But don't be dishonest about it. Don't no one wants to see someone's feet just randomly. I know that's a fetish. Like, fuck off, basically. Um, and like there are websites where people are okay with you asking that shit. This is YouTube. This is like, and people that's the other thing is like you ask me how old I am, and it turns out you're hoping like I'm younger, maybe, because people are into young people and they're creepy and they can fuck off my channel, basically. Because I swear, like the first time I did YouTube and I had those fetish types coming around, I'm pretty sure some of them thought I was under 18. So, like, you've got pedos coming to my channel thinking they can, I don't know, jokes on them. I started YouTube when I was like 20. So, but then again, they're just into the look. Well, what can you do? But yeah, no, I don't like that kind of dishonesty. Like, okay, I get it. People are into what they're into. The kids stuff is more of like a disorder and you should get help for that. But uh like for harmless fetish type stuff, stop being so dishonest. Stop trying to trick people into being involved in your garbage. Like that's one of the things when I was talking to a lot of BDSM people and finding out about what they believe, because like it's an interesting power structures and all that kind of stuff. Ultimately not my scene, but interesting people for a while. I mean, I get interested in a lot of weird beliefs like vampires and Scientology and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things about the BDSM crowd, too sex obsessed for me, but they do have this respect for consent and stuff. And I mean, most of them, that's the idea. Like the consent side of that, I think they've got right. But all these random like fetish people just running around on the internet have no respect. And so I block you when you start going on about that shit. I don't even give you chances half the time now. Yeah. Well, so like, I mean, the thing is, I enjoy breaking stuff. So when I started YouTube and I didn't know about fetishes, and people are like, "Ooh, can you like step on a thing?" I'm like, I like breaking things. That doesn't bother me so much. But then you find out like how dishonest they're being, and that pretty much put an end to it. I'm just like, no one else just likes breaking stuff. They're just here for a wank. Well, you guys can fuck off, can't you? Anyway, so I'm still sipping tea. Didn't expect to go on that kind of a rant. Hey. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, no. Yeah, my early YouTube time was interesting. There were a lot of nutcases, and there were a lot of people who were not happy with me being asexual. Got a lot of awful messages from that. But yeah, no, people are dicks. I am done sipping my tea. Here's today's cup. Doctor Who. Shit, when is Doctor Who coming back? I think I saw an article claiming that like it wouldn't be back until 2022. But I don't even know if I like. It's hard when they have those huge gaps. When the series rebooted, like it was on every year, so I was following. But as the writing got increasingly worse, and as they started taking longer and longer gaps, it's like, well, and then the way they ended the last season, I'm just like, oh my god, you guys just ruined so much. Thanks a lot. You know, I think they did the female doctor thing well, like the way that they didn't make the doctor heaps feminine. And she keeps forgetting that she's now a she. And I like that. That's kind of amusing because like you wouldn't just I know. They just had to go over the top. And that's one of the things is like, I mean, okay, that like it's been in canon or at least in its like history or whatever that they can switch between male and female. So at some point, probability wise, okay, maybe he would become a chick. I can deal with that. But the way that they've done those two seasons with her, there is a lot of like it feels like a lot of cynical pandering. Like instead of things being necessary to the story, they're always trying to make some kind of social or political point, and I'm just like, oh. You know, I just sort of like it feels like they're trying to smack you in the face with it. It's not even subtle. Like they've done more thoughtful stuff in the past. Like they've done uh like they've tried to make points about things, but it's been more subtle. I'm not talking about Moffat's crap, like his long speeches. Fuck. God, that stuff. Oh, especially towards the end. The long speeches and, you know, so up themselves about being a hero and all that kind of stuff. I'm just like, and you know how important the regular person is, and just like, oh my god, please stop lecturing me. I think more like the Davies era had a bit more subtlety here and there, but I think also like old Doctor Who. I mean, I don't know how I missed a lot. Mostly, I watched from the Fifth Doctor onwards. I missed all the earlier stuff. Um, I feel like they did a little bit better at like weaving it into the story, but without treating you like an idiot. Um, we don't know how old she is. What's this? What did I miss about the 20-year-old lesbian? I don't even know. Like, I think like the last few seasons of Doctor Who, trying to watch it, unless like there was something really good going on, I'm just on the phone playing a game. I haven't played any games on my phone in a while, but or like scrolling through whatever. So I'm only like half watching it. I've been watching Doctor Who the way my friend Cam watches everything distractedly. You know, I have no, I lost patience. The first few episodes with the chick doctor were okay, I think. I mean, there's some dumb shit anyway, but I like the way they did the Indian thing, you know, going to India and looking at, was that one of the early ones? I think that one, and then there was another one early on that was good, like the India thing about India and Pakistan and all that. Like that's part of the history part. Like Doctor Who started as like you go to the future to learn science, or you go to the past to learn history, and I like that they brought back some of that. But now it's like, oh, we're gonna create a thing that just like eats plastic and make a point about plastic, and instead of leaving it there, like if they had left it, it might have been okay, but then they have to get the doctor to make a speech about environmental crap. Like, don't do these speeches where you're just slapping the audience in the face. Like, give us some credit. We can figure some stuff out for ourselves. Like, come on. Anyway, so I don't know if I'm going to watch it when it comes back. If I even remember, like, what it is, or, even know when it's on. It's a real shame because, like, I've got the first season of the reboot somewhere on my shelf. Maybe a level down from what you can see. And the episode Dalek was really good, I thought, because, he sort of realizes he's very similar to them in some ways. But, there's just a lot of, like, Moffat's writing. I can't watch the BBC Jekyll series anymore because after watching so much of what he does in Doctor Who, I now can't unsee it in the Jekyll series, especially the second half where it gets super Doctor Who, and then we get this crap that Hyde is love and all this garbage. And I'm like, why do you have to be so cheesy? And he's like, oh, let's throw in a twist just because we want to have a twist. Like, come on. Anyway, on more pleasant stuff, I'm working on another vocal cover. Friend of mine asked me to do a song that's usually fry screaming in my false chord to see how that's different. And it's interesting. It's an interesting experiment. It's not a band I usually listen to, but and learning that, it's sort of given me a reason to do a bit more music because I've been neglecting my vocals and all that. So I don't know when I'll get a chance to record it. And, like, I've got so much junk here where I would usually put my tripod, so I've got to figure out how I'm going to set up, or do I change the angle? But then my microphone's here, and the light's over there. And this light's not much good. And the phone has better picture, so is the phone in my pocket? Oh, it is. Hello, phone. Oh, I forgot about you. Anyway, what else is going on? Oh, I didn't get into Hallow Scream. I don't think I told you guys that yet. And a friend who was in my maze last year also didn't get in. So we might hang out at some point when COVID's a little bit less, when, like, there's places to go. I haven't seen her. Like that. The audition is the first time I'd seen her in ages. So, so I'm going to be doing basically nothing for Halloween this year. I go back to my default. I don't know. I'm not a good audience member, and if I'm not involved in some way, I kind of don't care about Halloween. I mean, when I was growing up, it was still seen as a very American thing. We didn't do Halloween, really. These days, like, along my street, there are people who organize stuff, but the only places you trick or treat are the places that have decorations, and we never bother. I think a lot of the local families got into it. And then in terms of, like, adults partying and whatever, I think COVID's kind of nerfed that. So, like, even if there was a metal gig on that I wanted to go to, well, there isn't one, is there? So I'll just sit at home. I'll probably dress in white. A lot of the time for Halloween, I dress in white because if I'm, like, all gothic and moody the rest of the time, then Halloween's like nothing different, right? So I will scare people by being the opposite of me normally. I don't know if I showed you guys my AGL, like Lolita photos. They're on my there's an album on my Facebook, Destroy America Facebook page, with some of those photos, and that scared some people because that's not usually how I would do fashion. It's very cutesy. Oh god, I've been neglecting Instagram. I'm like, maybe I could post those on Instagram, just like start posting a bunch of old stuff, because there might be some more punk rave coming, but I guess with COVID things got really interrupted. Like they've contacted me, and so we'll see. But in the meantime, like, I just haven't had anything really to post on Instagram. Like, Instagram, I don't like the platform, so I only post there you know, if it's going to fit like the image I've got there, mostly like fashion stuff. And yeah, so mostly punk rave. And then I've just not been inspired to post much else. Ooh, something on Facebook. No, it's just someone reacting to some stuff. Me going on rants. Oh my God. Yeah, anyway, so what else is going on? No, although Hard Quiz is finishing, so I'm not sure if they're going to keep watching something or what, but we'll see how we go. I'm feeling like pretty low energy though, you know. Like I was thinking for a while I could make this time a sort of regular time to live stream. Oh, and we've got daylight saving, so I'm probably a bit earlier than most you guys are used to. But no, I was sort of thinking I could make this a regular spot, but then again, when I come home from bonsai, I'm tired. So it's hard to have the energy to like, and then, you know, be interesting as well. To be fair, we all sub for the rats. Tea would have nothing to do. It does have something to do with it. He was my teacup, and it did have chamomile tea, and I actually finished it. I didn't let it go cold this time. I started the video doing what I said I was going to do. It's just that I go on tangents. Oh no, I'm being mentioned in a comment. I could tell him I'm ranting on YouTube right now, but yeah. No, I think people have subscribed for all kinds of different reasons because I do all kinds of different stuff. So I think a lot of you who've been following me for a long time subscribed for the rants and like the weird tangents I go on and whatever. But there are also people who've subscribed for like they think I'm going to do more Alienware videos. The only like Alienware thing that I maybe will do at some point is to go on a rant about all the people telling me Alienware shit and that I should have done custom building and all that, because I'm so tired of those comments. And I reply to them all the time because I'm just like, they make me mad. And when I get mad, I go on a rant. So I'm like, you don't understand. Well, in my head, I'm not aggressive. I'm just like, oh my God, here we go again. But because I write so much, they probably think that I'm heaps emotional. It's just like, I feel like if I don't respond to them, they're never going to open their minds that maybe other people have different needs. Like fucking custom building. There's troubleshooting issues and all that. And then they get upset because there's a blower card in Alienware, not realizing I don't have the space for a bigger case that would have the airflow that would allow a fan card to operate in it. Blower cards have their uses, especially for those of us who don't have the damn space for anything else. I mean, fuck. And like the Alienware, it works perfectly for what I want, for what I need, blah, 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 blah. So, and I didn't have to spend hours researching which components are compatible and troubleshooting all the things that go wrong, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, maybe at some point I'll go on a more structured rant and address all the different points they keep throwing at me. They're very repetitive. I should just come up with a, you know, copy paste to send to them. But sometimes different people respond to complain about different aspects. So do I just like have a bunch of things and then just delete the bits that they didn't raise? Or I don't fucking know. I think I just go on a rant and then I link them to the video and be like, yeah, I've already addressed that in this video, and see if I can get a few more clicks over maybe. I imagine making such a video though would get me a lot more anger because people would click on it looking for a fight. But maybe I make that one video that I just don't respond to, or I could turn off comments if I really wanted to, but people are doing stuff. I think they're closing the door so they can watch in the other room. Dave's on school holidays. He's a teacher, right? So he's on school holidays, and we've got Disney Plus now, and it's just like he was watching Under the Sea. Well, the Little Mermaid, but mainly for the Under the Sea song, I reckon. He's into the oh my God, there was one time he watched Aladdin, the cartoon version, then the live action version, then the cartoon version again, then the live action version, and then one time, like, what is it? Beauty and the Beast, the live action version. When we used to get them on Foxtel, like you only have them for 2 or 3 days, so he'd try and watch it as many times as possible to just get the most out of it. But now it's Disney Plus, so you can just watch endless Disney. I think he watches Marvel as well. Was he watching some of the Star Wars series things? I don't know. I can't keep up, but yeah, he's on holiday, so. And then the parents probably watching Netflix. Anyway, no, Alienware. There's people watching for that, and yeah, I don't know. Like the people get so angry about technology. It's a bit like the Apple versus Microsoft thing. Yeah, like they have the uses. Although Apple's been disappointing the last however long, maybe since Steve Jobs died. I don't know. Like they've had issues before that, but it feels like they've really sort of gotten a bit confused. But no, like there are some people who are really upset with me buying Alienware. And some of them are kids too. And it's just like, I'm pretty sure that they've just read something somewhere and they're now convinced because, like, you know, kids are a bit like that. They're depending on how old they are and how much brain development's gone on, they don't always think for themselves. So, yeah, they just parrot this shit back at me and go on about how, you know, something would have been cheaper or better or whatever. And then it turns out they couldn't even buy, you know, a quarter the power computer, and they're upset about me having, you know, such a good machine. And it's just like, oh, go away, kid. Um, yeah, no. So some people think I'm a tech YouTuber, which I'm not. I think if I was going to take YouTube seriously and try and get views, maybe tech would be a way because, like, people are crazy about that. And I think I got a serious boost to my channel statistics when I posted that Alienware review. I wasn't expecting it. I was just like, this is just another thing that I'm going to show people. And then another video that's been popular like for ages is the one where I'm fixing the RAM in my old Dell. I guess a lot of people are having that problem. And instead of going to the Dell website and looking at what the problem is and fixing it the way I did, they come and watch my video. And it helps people. So I'm glad about that. I mean, I really made the video just to entertain all you guys, my regulars. But no, apparently it's helped people. But to me, it just seems so easy to work it out for myself. And I get a little bit confused that other people have to watch my video. And like, I didn't even think my video was, you know, that well done, but because, you know, I spend time vacuuming my the dust out of my computer and all that instead of getting to the point. Like a good tutorial should get to the point. Mine wasn't intended as a tutorial. I was just like, hey guys, this is what I'm doing today. I'm really angry. Anyway, Alienware versus Voodoo. I don't know what Voodoo is. Mac versus PC. Not knowing Alienware is just Dell's premium brand. Yeah, the Alienware, like I looked at the regular Dell gaming computers and I was like, no, the Alienware fits more what I want. If I hadn't been able to get the R8 with the optical drive, I probably would have had to custom build because for me, like, look how many DVDs I have, right? I use the optical drive a lot. I've also still got a whole lot of CDs. I'm a bit old-fashioned. I haven't moved on to the streaming generation. I don't like Spotify. Spotify also sounds not right, and I don't like it if I'm listening to stuff that I know well. It just doesn't sound right. Maybe it's good for discovering new songs, but I was telling my boss this today. You know, I've been struggling to find new music to listen to because I think for me to enjoy music, I need to get some level of familiarity, especially now that I'm old and set in my ways. I need a bit of familiarity to really get into a song. And these days, like, I don't buy CDs at the moment because, like, I'm not working as much as I used to. I don't have extra money to blow on CDs. So I just haven't really been adding to that collection. But the good thing about a CD is you just sit there and you listen to it and you get used to that because you don't have this huge collection. With Spotify, you've got so many songs and I don't know how to find the good stuff. So you go onto a playlist and then you hear something that's sort of okay. And you're like, oh, maybe I should check out that band. But then like a gazillion other songs play and you're just like, what was that song that I thought was kind of okay? When you finally find it again, you're like, oh, actually, don't know if I can be bothered. Is or if I even find the song, I don't know. I'm not a Spotify generation, and Netflix. I don't know what it's like around the world, but Australian Netflix, a lot of the time I'm a bit like, don't know, because I was trying to watch Yu-Gi-Oh on it, but then I don't know, I got heaps distracted and took a break, and when I came back, they only had season 3, and season 3 starts off with one of the most boring parts of the entire run of the original Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm just like, why would you only keep season 3? Where's the logic? And I was still on season 1. I was just getting up to the Pegasus fight, and then I come back and it's gone. I would rather have DVDs that don't disappear like that. I mean, I know Netflix, like, we can get HD instead of 480p DVDs, but you know, my eyesight's not that great, so am I really going to get extra benefit from the HD? I don't know. But yeah, no, that was disappointing. At the moment, though, they do have Primal Fear on Netflix, and I had tried to find that to buy as a DVD, and just couldn't get my hands on it. So that was nice to find on Netflix, and I've now watched it twice. Yeah, I watched it first with my brother, and he's the one who alerted me to the fact that it's Captain Holt in there. And I like to think that this is what Captain Holt was doing before he joined the 9-9. Dave's really into 9-9, probably because he's a bit like the main dude in a lot of ways, if he was a cop instead of a teacher. But yeah, no, I didn't recognize him. And then I was watching with Mum, because Mum just randomly put it on, and I could hear the choir going off, and I'm like, oh, what's Mum watching? Oh, I'm going to watch that too. Yeah, and Mum didn't recognize him either, because like this was done in 1994, 5, 6, I don't know, around that time, so a long time ago. I would have been in primary school, early primary school. I'm so old. And if that feet person, Martin, 1996. So do I assume that's when that guy was born? 1996. Oh man. I don't know. Don't need those people coming to my channel. Anyway, no. What was it? Netflix and blah 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 blah. Why was I on that? Oh, because of the optical drive. Yeah, no, I need an optical drive because I've got a collection and I like having a collection. I like seeing the stuff there, and I like, although, oh, you can't see it. I don't know. If you guys noticed, on YouTube, my current favorite adaptation of Jekyll and Hyde is available on free on YouTube in HD, not 480p, HD, free on YouTube. I put a link in my community tab a little while ago. You can't get it from every country, unfortunately, but if you're on the ones that you can, free movie, and it's the one I like. I think I mentioned this before, though. Hey, I like my DVD collection too. Most new music is off. Yeah, no, the thing about new music, I mean, there's so much of it, and it's so much easier to distribute it. So, of course, some lower quality stuff gets out there as well, but it also some high quality stuff that labels ignore is there too. So it's mixed bag. But I think also as we get older, we do tend to get set in our ways. So we're more likely to prefer the music that we were into when we were younger. And it's harder for some of us to get into the new music, and that's part of the kids these days listen to crap music kind of thing. Like it happens with a lot of generations. Although with older people not liking dance music in particular, like the real doof 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 kind of stuff. Some of that might be because I think older people have more sensitive bass hearing. So when you have a lot of bass, I mean, assuming they haven't ruined their hearing, but I think your high-end hearing goes first, and then the bass becomes more emphasized. And so when you've got real bass-heavy music blasting, it may actually be painful to some older people. So that's like a physical thing and not necessarily a taste or like, old set in your ways kind of thing. If you're on Discord, then I'm definitely, you can find classes. I'm not on Discord. I was briefly when I was trying to go for a job and they were on Discord, but yeah, I don't understand Discord and I don't really see the appeal, but maybe that's just because I only was there briefly and it was just like this running chat. How do you even keep track of anything? I don't know, it just Discord didn't seem like the place for me, and I gather it's got a connection to like gaming. So things like Discord and Twitch, I'm not a gamer, I'm not in that world. So yeah, and I'm old and creaky and I'm used to the things I'm used to now. Don't understand TikTok either. Like I mean, I guess kind of if you're lazy about editing, but you could have done TikTok type stuff anywhere else, really. And then I don't know if you care about China or whatever. It's wide for gaming, but it has plenty of music, hobbyists if you're. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, isn't Reddit sort of open to a bunch of stuff? And apparently, I have a Reddit account. I don't remember opening it, but yeah, apparently I have one. And I just don't use it. No, I stick around on Facebook mostly. Facebook is for old people, and I'm old now. At least that's a perception, right? But like Instagram is such a crap platform, you can't do anything. Anyway, no, to get back to the topic, optical drives, people thinking I make Alienware or tech videos. What else do people subscribe for me besides rants? I mean, you know, people watching me the longest, rants, and then I had a huge influx of people at least watching and some subscribing because of the tech stuff. Then there are people who subscribe for the music stuff. Yeah. What else? I don't think anyone really subscribed for the fashion stuff. You know, like the punk rave. Maybe there's a handful of people, but yeah, I don't think that's really much of a reason why people are subscribing. Because like I'm not a polished person. I'm not really a fashion person. I don't do makeup. Like I do a bit of eyeliner, eyeshadow in those videos, but that's about the limits of my makeup ability. I can do face paint sometimes if I get really into it, but I haven't owned face paint in years, and I've only done it a couple times. So yeah, I just makeup. I've watched a few years ago. Maybe I watched some makeup tutorials, and some of the stuff people do, I'm just like, oh my god, that's so much effort. And yeah, I don't get it. Like this contouring thing, and what was the other one that was crazy? Foundation. Just like, yeah, I don't know. And then there's some people who do eyeshadow first and then foundation, so they don't get speckles or something. And I'm like, I don't. Makeup is too difficult. I don't know how to do it. Like, look at me. I'm just like on YouTube. Like, yeah, guys, just had a shower. This is me. No makeup. I'm just like, hey guys, how's it going? I mean, oh no, reaction videos. I think when I first watch something, I don't really have much expression. So, like, is my reaction really going to be that interesting? And then, I don't know, it feels like kind of a lazy way to make a video. Because you just play the thing and you're like, ooh, faces, and maybe make a comment here and there. I don't know. It would depend on what it would be, I guess. It needs to be something that I would actually react to, but I have like no soul, so what would I care about enough to? Oh, I thought you were off for. What were you doing? You were gonna do a workout for a bit to keep your sexy body or something. Aren't all those reaction videos all faked? Probably. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I guess I could ham up a reaction. I think, like, I kind of instinctively do a bit in those punk rave videos because I'm just, like, looking at all the things. But I also just, like, when I'm doing the punk rave videos, like that's my focus, and so I'm like, "Ooh, here's a thing," and, like, I don't know anything about clothes, so I see something clever and I'm like, "Ah, I really like that. I didn't know you could do that with clothes. Huh." Oh, well, good for you. You should have seen this bonsai. Maybe I'll post it to Facebook later. Yeah, interesting two tree. Is it two tree or is it just? I don't know if it was two tree or twin trunk, but the way that the roots were, it was interesting to look at. If you've got that kind of a, yeah. Anyway, um, what was I talking about? Yeah, no, I don't think people watch me for punk rave because I'm not a polished person, and I think they've got some new. There's at least one new person I think um coming to the punk rave maybe, and I've seen a clip and like she's also heaps polished. Like there's a couple of them now that are heaps polished people, like gothic types, and here I am like, huh. Bonsai makeup tech fashion comments on her videos. I just don't know if I can really get into so how clever they go on feet, you say. You missed the feet person who came earlier. I had a like they're like, "How old are you?" They thought I was 24. And then there's a few more questions like, "Where am I?" I don't know, I've hidden them, but then, asked me to show my feet, and I'm just like, "No, fuck off, I'm gonna block you, eh?" I just don't have patience for that. So we went on a little bit of a ramble about fetish people and how BDSM community is better than these people because they're honest about it and they ask for consent before they just try and get you involved in their shit. Yeah, so that's something you can catch up on later. That's what we were doing while you were working out. um, yeah, no, bloody hell, like those kinds of people still come around. Anyway, um, punk rave. At some point, though, like we're getting into warmer weather, and my godmother is like, "When are you going to cut your hair?" So I'm thinking, like, I mean, I was thinking about the Cyberlocks thing, but I just, I think the main motivation for that was like if AD Destroyer, my collab project, was going to do more stuff, but I don't really know if that's going to happen, and so I'm sort of like, well, do I want to spend all that money and blah blah blah. And then what do I actually want to get for that? Like, what look do I want? And Cyberlocks, like, you do have to do the buns and stuff, and there's too much of a muck around with that. Or like you could get the wig, but do I want to wear a wig? I don't know. I think I still prefer my older style of actually having things into my hair. But there's like not even gigs for my solo stuff really. I mean, there are more places around Sydney opening up, but there's no certainty. Like even if they open up, we've had 3 mystery cases detected today, so who knows where they are and what's going to shut down again. Like it's just like, when is it going to be worthwhile to get all this stuff done to my hair to go out? I don't know. Um, so I'm thinking I don't do cyber tubies, like whether it's cyber locks or whether I actually put them into my hair. I'm not going to do like those tubies. What is it, Crin? I'm not going to do um, synthetic dreads. Like the same place that makes the cyberlocks, they do stock the dreads that I like. So I would do all the ordering at the same at once. Um, but yeah, I think I won't do any extensions basically, but maybe I'll go somewhere. I got to find someone who does it in Sydney the way that I like, but I'll go to someone and get my hair cut, sort of like I used to do with the shaved back. Maybe not a pattern, maybe just shaved so that I don't have all this garbage heating up my neck area in summer. Keep the sides. Maybe I'll go about that short. I don't know. I haven't decided how short I want to go. I'm also thinking of having like the fringe sort of area a little bit shorter and then have the rest longer and then have it shaved at the back and just be like, I don't know where I'm going. Let's have a bit of everything. And then maybe I will also get them to color it so that I can not look like tacky brown. Hey guys, how's it going? Mysterious. So What? The musician's demon they pray to looks all used. Huh? I don't understand that comment. Shaved side. No, I don't think I want shaved sides. Also, like, one reason to keep the front like a certain length is for bonsai. I tie up my hair to keep it out of the way. I've also been wearing a headband though, so because there's little bits that fly in my face. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think shaved side is me though. Oh, here we go. So let's talk hair because it's not. I'm. I don't think about hair in terms of girly ways. Like, I mean, I don't even know how I think about anything right now, but in the past at least, hey, how's it going? In the past with my hair, it's very symbolic because look, I have a part right down the center, okay? Anyone who's known me long enough on this channel, I'm into duality, right? So I have two sides. Ah! 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 How about that, guys? So, I need my center part. And also my hair has been center parted for ages that it's just always going to stay there. So I know like it's trendy to have like a sort of off center part or like my hair doesn't even do it. Oh shit. No, I know like and I've had hairdressers be like, why do you insist on the center part? Like, it's cooler if you do something else. Can I even do it? Can I even do it? I probably need to straighten my hair first to stop it tangling. Cause like like people have more of that off to the side kind of part. And that's not me. That's not me. I need the center part so I have two different sides. And symmetry and so on. Like, yeah, like sometimes I've had like a part on one side, one color. And I think when I had my second lot of hair, I had like a red section. Like it was mostly blue, maybe. I don't even remember, but I know I had at some point, maybe it was for Winter Gaunt, I had a red section just on one side, which didn't really look great, but it was sort of part of that, two sides thing. I'm not gonna shave half my head. It's horrible. Your very first thumbnail has center part. Agree with shave half. I'm not gonna shave half my hair. Middle part person too. Hairdressers always ask me the same thing. Yeah, like what if I want to have a center part? That's just me, right? And because I'm 32, right? I've had center parted hair for ages. Maybe when I was really little, it might have changed. I'll have to look at some photos again, but I'm pretty sure I've had a center part like ages. Good luck changing it. Like the little hair follicles, I think are just stuck like this. The best you can hope for is like when you cut it short and it kind of sticks up a little bit. I have had it short. I think in like year 12, maybe I had it like my last year of high school, I had it pretty short. And there was some kid in the street like, Mom, that girl looks like a boy. And the mom's like, shh, don't say that. I'm not offended. I cut it short because I like it that way. I don't care if I look like a boy. Although the funniest one I had was when I was depressed one time and I had long crappy hair and I didn't know about hair straighteners, I think. So I just I had not as long as this, but scraggly and how guys with long hair don't always know how to look after it and it has a particular look. And so I was with Dad in a shop and one of his friends recognized him and was like, oh, and is this your son? I'm that grotty sometimes that I just seem like a grotty dude. Especially back then when I probably wasn't doing as much like any fashion. Like now the gothic stuff. There's nowhere to go. So I could dress up just for YouTube, but I'm not that kind of person. Like for me, if I'm in my house, no, I'm just going to turn up on camera in my pajamas, my tiger pajamas with my Hunten. And yes, guys, I will tell you again, please buy Hunten so that they don't die out. Japanese winter coat. Try and get a good one, but this is the gist of it, right? they're really good in winter. You can use it like a second blanket too. The other night I couldn't sleep so well, and it was only when I put this back on as a second blanket that I slept. You have longish hair you don't take care of. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about then. Oh my god. Anyway, but yeah, no, I do need to cut it a bit just for summer. Um, no, no, it's a tiger. There you go. Decent picture of tiger. Um, yeah, no, summer. So in Australia, we've officially had La Nina declared, which means we get a lot of wetter weather. I think summer comes earlier and lasts longer, but isn't as hot. But if there's a lot of moisture around, it's going to be humid. So yeah, I don't want excessively long hair. Um, I suppose I could just shave it all off. The one of the reasons I colored my hair in the first place is because mum wouldn't let me shave it all off. But, I don't wanna get sunburned either, so I need a little bit of hair at least. I think the one downside of the part is, like, what if the sun is beating there and that's the one place I get sunburned? Because like, how do you put sun cream? I just don't go out in the sun, that solves it. Damn it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I stay out of the sun like a fucking vampire. Just half. No. 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 I keep looking at the comments instead of looking at the camera, and I should be going, no. Shave hair with cork hat. Oh, one of those Aussie ones with like the things attacking the flies. Yeah, I don't own one of them. No, I just stay out of the sun. I mean, the Aussie sun is pretty harsh. Um, that was one of the things when I visited LA in 2006. We walked on, I think it was Venice Beach or something, and I was super paranoid that I was going to get sunburned. But the American sun is kind of weak. I mean, I think it was American winter or going into winter. I don't quite remember. It would have been like maybe November, maybe. But like LA doesn't have snow and the stuff. So yeah, we're on the beach. It was nice and warm, and I didn't get sunburned. Whereas if you went out on an Aussie beach without sun cream like that, I would go red. Like no. You keep suggesting 2K to the peer pressure. I'm not really a peer pressure kind of person. Might have figured that out. Oh dear, oh dear. I'm not shaving half my head. That'd be, I don't know. How would you even approximate that to get an idea of how it might look? Oh, and look, see, Hope's so upset by the idea that he's left. No, no, no. Oh, you're back. Oh, maybe all the doors are closed so he can't get to anywhere else. He's stuck with me. Um, no, I definitely want to cut the back. I'm just like, how short do I want to go? I'm not sure. I mean, I've spent so much time growing all this, it'd be a bit of a waste to just cut it all off. And I think I've seen photos of me with colored hair with, you know, about that length maybe. And I'm like, no, maybe I do want a bit of length. And then if I get the extensions right, I probably want some hair to be a similar length. I always had it poking down underneath the hair. I'm not sure. That's the problem with is like there's so many choices and I don't know which one to go for. I think I would probably do black and red in terms of color. Maybe once I get extensions, if I can get the black and white glow in the dark dreads in the brand I like, maybe I'd get that for a bit of the white in there. But no, probably black and red. Like I've experimented with a lot of colors, and there's been some that's fun, especially when I was in like Rainbow Death Ray and leading up to that. The sort of bubbly energy I had, that's fine for all those bright colors. But these days, I'm back to being a little bit more like gloomy and not depressed, just like darker in general. I'm gonna use like 3 cans of hairspray. God no, it's too much. You, you all want me to do a massive mohawk. Oh my god. No, like I think I would go back to cutting this area a little bit short and then spiking it up with the what is it? There's this funny powder that I got from Fur when I used to go there. They're closed now. So that's why I've got to figure out who to even go to. Because like I went to a different hairdresser, but I didn't really like the customer service. Um and then I don't like Directions hair color, or at least whatever they did that time, that my purple turned into green and like a gross green, not a nice green. And just like, how do you get purple to turn into green? That's one of the reasons I tried Arctic Fox, because it's supposed to fade within the same color spectrum instead of turning into some random color. Oh dear. I would spike a little bit up, sort of anime. So I've got the very short back and then the little bit of spike here and then really long. And then will Rainbow Death Ray ever perform again? Discovery Guys late and never got seen gigs. Yeah, I don't think Rainbow Death Ray is coming back. There's a lot of problems, and I've changed, and I don't even know where half the band members are up to with life. I just don't think it's likely. There's so many things to troubleshoot as well. Like, um, I don't think I want to play violin in a band again. Maybe like in a studio track, but I don't think I would play it on stage if I'm also singing, and I prefer singing. Um, I mean, for the like one of the things I noticed is ever since I finished like all my braces work, I feel like my jaw has started to get really like this weird sort of pain when I play violin too long. I don't know if that's my technique or if it's because like my jaw has actually been messed with. But yeah, so it's a little bit uncomfortable to play violin. And then also when you're trying to be a front person and you're like rah 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 singing, and then I've got to stop, pick up my violin, get it all sorted, play a thing, and then stop and put it down again, and then get back into the rah, rah, rah. It kind of breaks up your flow. And I started to realize that as it went on. And I'm just like, oh my God. And it's not like a guitar you can just yank up, because like violin's a little bit more of a fragile instrument. And you've got to, like, you can't touch it in certain areas or else the oil on your fingers will ruin the strings and the bow. And it's just like, oh my God. So there's that. And if I'm not doing violin, that's like a lot of our songs had violin. And I mean, you could program some of it, but there's at least one song where I had one of the other members doing some singing. And so I was just violining. And then if I'm not doing violin, then I'm just standing there. Hi, guys, I'm on stage. So like there's that. And then the software side of things, like my computer is no longer like, I'm just keeping it at home. I'm terrified of it breaking now. It's so old now. I have worked out how to do tracks on my MP3 player, wherever that is. That's what I use for solo now. But yeah, and then like the whole bubbly persona just isn't me. Like I went through such a deep depression afterwards, like, after I'd burned out. So like I've gone back to being a little bit grumpier and, wanting more aggressive metal and not having that sort of image. Like we had depressing lyrics sometimes, but the whole image is very bubbly. Like we literally had a bubble gun. I had a bubble gun, especially in like we used to do Storm as the last song, and there's this massive bit where we've got guitar solos, guitar solos, and then I jump off stage in the middle of all that with my bubble guns, shooting bubbles amongst the audience, and then jump up, take a selfie, and all this kind of stuff. And the bubble guns were always like, they're not, bubble guns just aren't well made. Oh, it's too long, this hair. But yeah, no, the bubble guns, they would always drip. And so I had this little thing that I kept them in so that I just didn't have to, trying to store them. Oh my God. Can someone please make a quality bubble gun? But yeah, no, that's not me. And then the whole selfie thing, like we did a lot of fun stuff. And there's a lot of like novelty and all that, but it's just not me. And yeah, I also like definitely didn't. I should have realized calling ourselves Rainbow Death Ray would make people think we were some kind of LGBT thing. Like, yeah, we had members who were LGBT, but that wasn't the point of the band. And the funniest comment I think we got was someone who thought that we were lesbian death metal. We weren't lesbians, and we definitely weren't death metal. Like, yes, I do death growls, but that's not what death metal is. My God, we had pop sounds and all that. Like, I don't know. They must have an interesting idea of what death metal's like. But no, like I also just burnt out with Rainbow Death Ray because I was trying to do so much. Like most of the songs I wrote and I programmed, and I was the most experienced band member. So I just found myself doing a lot of stuff. Like they'd try and help. They were really good with that mostly. But there's some stuff it was just easier for me to do a lot of the things and cover all our bases. And I was just trying to do too much. Like I had my day job during the day. I'd come home doing Rainbow Death Ray, especially when we were crowdfunding. So there was that extra thing, and I was organizing um, our EP. Like I was the recording engineer for our EP. Like and I did the editing. I think we only did the mixing and mastering with my old studio where I interned at. Clay did that. He did a really good job on it. I miss his cat as well. Squee is like murder cat, but she liked me. Probably because we have something in common. um, yeah, no, there's so much went into Rainbow Death Ray, and I don't have that energy anymore. And you know, trying to write the music as someone who's not good at guitar and trying to get the heavier stuff. Like the heavier stuff was when I was writing it on guitar, but I'm just not good enough to like I found myself falling into the same writing patterns and being like, shit, this sounds like the other song that we already had. How do I change it? And like the pressure of having to writing music has never come naturally to me. And this is a problem with me finding a new band. I don't want to be the person writing the music. Like I can write the vocals easily, like that's fun for me, but writing the music itself is just such a source of stress. So yeah, I really need to find, a group who have at least that side done. Like every band. Winter Gaunt, even though I was the newest member, and then Rainbow Death Ray, which I started and which ended up making people think I like unicorns, which I don't. Um, yeah, yeah, I thought the electric and metal together sound awesome. If you still have any merch or EPs left. Oh yeah, no, if you go onto the Bandcamp website, we have the merch tab. There's still stuff on that. And yeah, we do have some stuff. So like I've got CDs coming out my ears because it costs the same to do 200 as it costs to do 500. So we're just like, let's get 500 done. Yeah, so I've still got a bunch of them. No, I don't want beats. I want to work with someone. I don't want to do like online stuff. I want to have like an actual band with like guitars and drums. Like one of the things we were missing in Rainbow Death Ray was the drums. We could never find a drummer, so that's why it ended up being programmed and having that electronic element. Um, uh, no, I miss the more standard band kind of thing. Like one of the things with Rainbow Death Ray, I put so much work into it. The only instrument that I couldn't approximate in software was the guitars. So if I was doing all that, like I could do that on my own almost, and that's why I started doing my solo project because I'm like, I have basically everything here. I also needed something for uni, so I cynically did the asexuality project because art school go for that kind of stuff. They're into that. But yeah, I kind of don't want to play some of those songs now because I don't want to be like too associated with asexuality. Like I'm out of that community. Like, yeah, it's still something that is me, but I don't want it to be like, I just don't like that community. I've complained about them before anyway. No, I want to find a band where they at least know how to write the music and then I can come in with vocals. And if I have to do all the band management stuff like I did with Winter Gaunt and Rainbow Death Ray, okay, like that's fine as long as I'm not also having to do the writing of the music because that's what I find hardest. Like finance, I can do that. I'm a maths brain. One of my jobs is finance. Like I can work that shit out. That's fine. That's easy. It's just process. You don't even have to really think very much. You just do it like a robot. But coming up with the music, and I can't really play guitar. I've tried. I'm just no good. The drummer lead singer. What? I have a drum kit. That doesn't mean I can play it. And I need to fix the hi-hat pedal. It turns out the little rubber thing in it goes hard after a while, and then it doesn't press down anymore, so I can either do some voodoo to fix it, buy a new one which will have the same problem in a few years, or buy a different model that's still compatible and all fancy and whatever, and maybe, but yeah, I don't know. It was good to learn, and maybe I should sit there and just, like, hit stuff, but, yeah. No, there are some drummers who also sing, like, oh, what's the band called? There's this band I was following on Facebook where the girl plays drums and she sings at the same time, and I'm just like, "I don't know how you do that." I don't think I could sing and play an instrument at the same time. I don't have that coordination. 75% there. Eh. Uh, no, I wanna have an in-person band, um, and I don't have the energy for, like, other project like, maybe for a one-off, I do vocals for people. I've done that, I did that for Fireland, and they were really good, like, they were organized. A lot of people who want me to do vocals for their projects are not organized and nothing ever happens, but Fireland were really good. Um, yeah, and I'm surprised I could actually pull off that vocal too. So, yay for learning stuff. But no, I think until I find a band, um, I'll just do more covers, get back into that. Uh, 'Cause yeah, it's so hard to find anyone in Sydney. The pandemic doesn't help, but even before that, trying to find people on the same wavelength as me, um, yeah, hasn't been working out. And I don't want to be the band's mum. Like, okay, maybe I would do some of the organizational stuff, but I don't wanna be the band's mum, which, like, some of the groups that have approached me, I was like, "I'm definitely gonna end up this band's mum. They cannot organize shit. They're so all over the place." So it was like they called the chat Pink Unicorn Band or something, I think, because it abbreviates to pub, but I was just like, "Oh my god, I don't wanna be associated with unicorns again." Um, but they were calling themselves a band, just having a Facebook chat for 3 months, never actually meeting each other in person, and then they added me to their chat and acted as if I'd joined the band when I was just told I was being added to the chat to, suss things out with them, and they were really offended when I was like, "No, this isn't for me, come back when you have some demos." Um, yeah, and so, like, some of them blocked me. I'm just like, all right, grow the fuck up. Like, you don't have a band. They wanted me to. They one of the guys had a warehouse, and they're like, "Oh, let's all practice in the warehouse." And I'm like, "Does it have a PA?" Crickets. I can't scream over a drum kit and a bunch of guitar amps and a bass amp. Like, are you kidding? I'm not going to scream a cappella, you guys. Bloody hell. Um, being a one woman band with just the drums and singing. No, like, why play the drums when I can just program them and play them like I do already with my solo stuff? But I found it really hard to get into that because, like, I don't enjoy writing music. Vocals, fine, that part's fine, but writing the music itself is so stressful because it doesn't come naturally to me. So it's been hard to motivate myself to do solo stuff, and I don't want to sing maybe half my EP songs. So if I want to get gigs again, I've got to come up with more stuff. That's why the last gig I covered Voices by Disturbed because I was just like, I don't want to do my other songs. Um, yeah, so I've got that new song that I still haven't got around to recording properly. Like, I started recording and then I realized I could do the low growl. I was doing it in my new growl because, like, the false chord, the regular false chord that I've used on almost everything else, including AD Destroy, because that was recorded like 3 years ago. That one uses more air. And then I figured out I could do the grittier one and use less air. And then when I was starting to record the truth, I realized I could do low as well. Um, and that I was like, well, I better work on that before I keep recording. Um, Fake drumming live, just no, see that in Rainbow Death Ray, we had the unicorn and we said that she was our drummer. I don't really I don't care about that stuff anymore. I'd rather just watch TV and oh, did I upset you? Because I'm not interested in your beats? Like, that's weird to me. Like, I didn't ask for your beats. You're trying to give them to me unsolicited, and then you're upset when I say no? I'm not saying they're bad or anything, I just don't want them. I don't know. People get a little bit strange sometimes. I am wacky though. Well, I'm confused about what you're upset about. Um, or if you're upset, like it's hard to know in text whether you're joking or not. But I have had some people get a little bit strange when I've said no, like the Pink Unicorn band guys. I'm just like, they didn't even ask each other if anyone knows how to write music. So it was just like, so what kind of music are you actually gonna make? Like I know metal, but yeah, that was a strange one. Um, yeah, but no, I've had also some friends, well, contacts who have wanted to do stuff, but we just haven't matched up, and they're like, okay, no worries, those guys are cool. Um, is yeah, sometimes the style just doesn't match. Hmm. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what to say to that. But yeah, it is a thing though. There are people who like if you say no to something just because you're into a different style, they do get upset. Um, and it's like I'm just not into the style. It's not anything against you. Like I had that happen earlier in the year. Someone got really upset. Something bad sound on. Yeah, I like some people. Someone got really upset because it turned out we just weren't on the same page creatively, and it's nothing against their music. It's just not the music I want to make. Like if you wanted me to join a Spice Girls band, right? Like yeah, okay, in the '90s, I still listen to some of that music, but I wouldn't want to be in one of those kinds of bands. It's just not who I am. Like maybe you guys will do really well, but it's not what I'm into. Um, don't blame me for saying no. Like I'm looking for something specific. Okay. Yeah, there's all kinds of reasons. I think that was the ramble I was on before. There's all kinds of reasons people signed up to this channel. Um, and I barely deliver on any of it because I'm all chaos and I just make whatever videos I feel like making at the time. You guys are gonna love whenever I finally get around to the gardening stuff. Oh my god, that's gonna be like feature length film of just me rambling about plants. Don't even see my face for most of it. Oh my god. Actually, there are some people who signed up for bonsai stuff and they never really make bonsai videos. And there's people walking around the house. I think maybe people are going to bed. Oh, I haven't watched any Angel yet. I'm up to the last episode of season 1. Maybe I should go and watch that. Where's my drink? I need some water. Stay. Or you can go. Are you going in or out? Anyway, yeah, I think people are getting ready for bed. Anyway, since things have gotten a little bit awkward because I don't know what's going on in the chat now, are you coming? Hope come say hello. Here comes Puppy. What happens in the last episode? I don't know because I haven't watched it yet. Here's Puppy. Can you see yourself on the screen, Hopi? Can you? He always likes to sit in this direction. Anyway, he's doing really well. Since we've had some like construction stuff going on here, and so there's been workmen around, and that makes him anxious. And he hasn't had any of his anxiety symptoms, so he's pretty cute. when he gets anxious or before his treatment for his IMT, um, he'd do like the prayer position, sort of like downward dog kind of thing, which helps take some pressure off the stomach. He'd do that, so clearly, like he'd get anxious and he'd have stomach upsets, and then he used to throw up a bit, and sometimes his poo would be a bit weird. Oh, he's gone and curled up again. And so far, after 2 days of unfamiliar people around the house, he hasn't had that. Like I can see he's anxious, but he's not having those anxiety symptoms. So that's really good. Um, and I really do wonder if he had that condition building in the past, and then this treatment has fixed that on top of um, the actual immune condition. Like he I think he must have had some kind of stomach problem, and it didn't show up on any scans, but there was something going on with him, and yeah, he seems to have fixed him up. He's still on a tiny bit of steroid, and he's on the what do you call it, mycophenolate immunosuppressant. So hopefully this month he'll come off steroids completely, and then maybe his hair is thinning out a little bit, so maybe that'll go backwards, and maybe he has stopped gaining weight, so maybe his weight has finally stabilized around 5 kilos. Um, oh, good night. Yeah, you too. Um, Yeah, no, he's doing really well. So we'll see. I'm hoping he can get off meds by the end of the year because the routine is just. I'm doing okay. I survived the transition to daylight saving time, but oh man, yeah, he's doing well, which is good. Anyway, yeah, no, just sort of shaking through. Alright, yeah, no, that whole music thing got a little bit awkward there 'cause I don't understand the problem. Um, yeah, no, Rainbow Death Ray, back to that. Rainbow Death Ray is probably not coming back. Um, I did say, like, they could go on without me, but I think because I was such a fundamental part, it just wasn't gonna work. So, yeah, I'm looking for something new, and not finding it. I've been looking for a while, and it's just so hard to find the right fit. And you know, I had a lot of pop punk offers. I'm not a pop punk kind of person. And then a lot of the time is also like progressive stuff, and like prog is okay, but I don't like overly prog time signatures and overly prog song structures. Like you can play with those things, but people do it to a point that it doesn't sound musical to me. I guess being a 90s kid and growing up with pop music, that's just oh, hello. Hey, I'm live streaming. What are you doing? Anyway. Uh, but maybe not for much longer. We'll see how we go because I really need to go to the toilet. That's one of the things about tea and tea. I did sip tea for anyone who turned up late. Tea and also water. And I really need to pee, but I will hang on for a little bit longer. Yeah, Rainbow Death Ray. Um, with AD Destroyer, which is the collab, like I just it's very casual, sort of slow going kind of thing. So yeah, I don't really know where that's going to go next. I would love that to be my main project because I really like the music, but I think just the nature of the project, I don't know. Huh? Glad the title wasn't a lie. No, you missed the tea sipping because you were too busy going out and working out. Um, exercise is good for you though, so yay. What am I rambling about? I don't even know. I think I'm that tired that my brain's just gone. Um, yeah. No, I think I'll just try and focus on covers. Like I said this ages ago, like last year. Oh, I'll do covers, but I'm getting back on the bandwagon because my vocalist friend wants to hear this song in false chord. It's originally in Fry song. Um, for any of my Patreon supporters, there's a sneak peek of me just singing along, like with the lyrics on the screen, and I'm just like, "Rah." But I'll record it properly at some point and turn it into a like. I've just got to finish memorizing the lyrics. I think I'm almost there, and then I've got to find a time to record and set up my gear and like because my room has changed since I did the voices one. Um, well, I take Hopi out sometimes. Most days, not on Wednesdays because I work and I'm too tired. And then it's there's some wet weather in Sydney, so I don't know if we'll be able to go out tomorrow. And then every night I do my stretches routine, even on a Wednesday. So that's like I do stretches and I do dynamic kick stretches and I do sit ups 20 sit-ups. No, they're more like you get the kind of sit-ups. So like, alternating. So I guess 10 on each side, but it's still like 20 sit-ups. And I think it's a little bit more full on than sit-ups. So I am doing some stuff, but I my brother gave me the skipping rope and I never got around to it. So I gave him the skipping rope back. So also, because I didn't get into Hallow Scream, I don't have that extra motivation to get fit. So although one thing that would be nice, right? I liked the Hallow Scream audition because like it's fun. You're running around screaming and stuff. Yeah, no cardio, nothing to get me up a hill. But no, Hallow Scream audition, it's fun because you're running around screaming and like that's the point. Like you're growling at each other and brr, and you get exercise while acting like a complete psycho. And I was just like, wouldn't it be nice to like have a sort of demon club where you did that without the pressure of an audition? Like you just sort of you did the exercise, but like while being all grr. Um, I have heard of like those fitness camps where they get like a bunch of zombies or whatever to chase people and give them that motivation to run. And so I suppose if I could find something like that, I could be one of the zombie things. They would lose me very quickly because if I'm not running for a bus, good luck. But no, I think just like in a room is easier for me than like actually running on the street. Yeah, yeah, just like, monster club, demon club, whatever, where you just like you do the kind of Hallow Scream audition stuff, but without the pressure of the audition and without the improv stuff because I was just like I think like I was worried going in that they'd get us to read a script and that I wouldn't be able to have the emotional range to pull it off. But I think actually I prefer the script because then at least I know what to say and what to do and I can sort of interpret something. When they're just like, okay, here's a bunch of categories of characters, run up and do something in that character, like make up your own character and do something. I was just like, what do I do? And like all the proper actors they that's what they like, they're good at that stuff, and then here's me going, oh shit, I don't know what to do, like I can't come up with something. A whole group of people running down the street screaming, helicopter like start the running with a couple of loud explosions. Yeah, well, see, that's another argument for doing it in a room, more like an audition. And I really need to go to the bathroom. Should I end the stream or should I just go and come back? I want to watch Angel though. I'm up to the last episode, so maybe I should just go and then I can pee and then I can watch the last one. I don't like that the title of it is like a nonsense word because that just annoys my brain. But hey. Well, do you have anything you want me to ramble about? Because if not, I'm just going to come back and be like, well, guys, I just peed. And who knows what'll happen. I don't even have time. I really need to go. Will you really wait? All right. I'll stop being like that. Oh. Huh? Revenge for betrayal. Hang on, let me just check. Oh, I'm sorry, Hopi. Yeah, no, I straightened my hair while I was in there, but I don't know if you can tell because it's still frizzy. But like, it was still a little bit wet though, so it didn't completely straighten. But I was like, I wonder how long they'll wait if I just like stuff around for a bit. Anyway, my room is, yeah, it's just full. It's not messy. Like I have carpet. Carpet. And Hope's like, what are you doing? Yeah, no, I've got too much stuff. That's my real problem. And like, if I'm not doing art stuff, do I really need all this? I don't know. But I'm bad at throwing things out. Um, Revenge for betrayal. She does death metal. I have some videos of if you feel. Okay, I haven't heard of them. One day we'll have a whole bear costume in there and come out. Well, I was like, I could stuff around a bit longer and put on some makeup while I'm in here. But yeah, no. Also, like, I've got so many split ends that I think like that's adding to the frizziness. Like, wow, you can see all that. But the main part is straightened. Just like if I don't straighten it after I've had a shower, it feels weird because it's all like cheerfully withdrawn. What's withdrawn? The fact that you'll wait if I go in there and like put on a whole outfit and then come out and be like, hey guys. Um Oh, I've got to respond to a message in a bit. I don't have a bear costume, but I do have a dragon onesie and a Pikachu onesie. Does that count? I also have like cat ears and stuff. That's as close. Oh, yeah, no, it's just full. Yeah, it's not. I mean, like defined mess. There's a little bit extra stuff on my ground on the floor because that's my bonsai stuff that I just put down when I got home. A bear costume. No, but Patreon's gone heaps backwards because COVID. I was like, should I pause this or what? And ended up keeping it, but the people who needed it paused left, and then I upset someone. Who was that guy? There was a guy who was watching a lot of my stuff. I think he found me on Instagram, and I upset him. As far as I can tell, the only thing I did to upset him was to correct his Japanese, and then he's just like unfollowed me everywhere and left Patreon, and I'm just like, if you're interested in Japanese stuff, wouldn't you want to know like the correct way to say a thing? So that you don't sound like an idiot to every Japanese person you say it to. As far as I know, that's the only thing I did to upset this guy. And I mean, he was very generous on Patreon, but then just leaving like that. And as far as I know, all I did was correct his Japanese. And just like, I don't get it. Like in the past, he was one of those dudes who was always apologizing, like, "Oh, I hope I didn't, say something wrong or whatever." And it was never him. Like if I was upset about something in a live stream or whatever, it's usually because like I think that one of the events was when I had some political guys in my chat, and they were going on and on about, like, one of them was heaps left wing and the other one was much more right wing and or trolling. I don't know for sure because that's someone who's always saying provocative stuff. And they were having a bit of an argument, and I was trying to avoid getting into any of that on my live stream. And then I think I posted something later being like, I'm not doing live streaming for a while because you guys can't behave yourselves. Something to that effect. And yeah, he sent me a message like, I hope I didn't say anything wrong and to make you not want to. I'm just like, it had nothing to do with you, first of all. But like, I was like, I said that, like, nothing to do with you. You're fine. And I think when he did the Japanese thing, he was hoping that I would just keep reassuring him or something. I don't know. I don't understand the psychology because he's just disappeared. Um, yeah, uh, very strange. Like, was he just saying, "I hope I didn't do anything," because he wanted a positive comment from me? I don't know. Japanese guy, what? Yeah, he. The other thing is, when I looked at a sook, how would you define sook? Like a wimp? Let's Google sook and see what Google says sook is. Female crab. Legit. It says a sook is a female crab. That is not the definition we were looking for. Okay, the second definition: a person lacking spirit or self confidence, a coward, or a hand reared calf. Well, we all learned something today. Um, anyway, no. Also, when I checked out his Patreon account to see like what's up there, I think the one other person he was supporting was like a Japanese, maybe travel channel or something. And now I start wondering, you stick with the crab one. Now I start wondering if the only reason he was interested in me and the stuff that I do and supporting me at that level is because he might have had an Asian fetish. And I'm like, ooh, okay, well, if you're going to get that sensitive about like one little thing, maybe I don't want you supporting me anymore. That just makes me feel a little bit like, oh, I don't know about this. But of course, like he just disappeared without really saying anything. Like in Patreon, so there's exit surveys. Most people don't fill them out, but he did, and I think he just said that he lost interest as his reason for leaving. And I'm like, well, no, I think something actually happened because he kind of seemed to get mad, and I don't know. Whereas, oh, exit surveys, there's the thing. No, I don't need to do stop loading the thing and click the other one. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, it just says lost interest. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, whatever. Yeah, well, maybe like there probably are people who were hoping I'd do more Japanese stuff on my channel, but I think he came from Instagram, where I do translate a lot of stuff into Japanese for my Japanese family. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was expecting more of it on my channel. I don't know. It's just like it's hard to know. Like maybe it's completely innocent and he legitimately lost interest. I mean, it seems a bit weird given the level he was supporting me at. I feel like I offended him somehow to like suddenly have silence and just leaving like that. But maybe there's an innocent explanation. It's just that when I see stuff like that, I think he is white, yeah, but um it just like I don't know, I've become kind of suspicious about people's intentions. I mean, if we go back to the start of this live stream with that feet person, like learning about that kind of stuff, then I have to be suspicious of anyone who mentions feet on my channel and glasses and like anything that seems remotely like it could be someone's fetish. If my little warning radar goes off, I can get kind of aggro, and some people get offended and like disappear. Other people are sort of like, no, that's not what I meant. And then I sort of am suspicious for a while longer. But if they start acting like a proper human being instead of insisting like, no, I want to see more of your glasses or whatever. If they act like a proper human being, great. But there's not a lot who get that far, They might be able to keep up some kind of facade for a while, but they're the ones who are like, oh, I'm sorry, my English isn't good. And then they keep asking the same shit. And I'm like, when you learn a language, the first thing you learn is not to ask about glasses or feet or something. You learn things like, hello, how are you? Where are you from? I don't fall for that bullshit. Anyway, yeah, so I get suspicious about that stuff. And then knowing that Asian fetish is a thing, and some people, even though I look white as hell, some people knowing that I'm half Japanese are suddenly that much more interested. Like, how does that? I don't get it. Because I look white, I speak English, like my Japanese skill is crap. Yes, I have some cultural things and like some mannerisms and things that I don't realize are Japanese, like I've just absorbed subconsciously or whatever. Um, but yeah, I like as far as anyone knows, I'm super white. Um, Fake mannequin I'm in a box and someone has to see your feet. You should no, see, they might be into that as well, and there's people who are into mannequin stuff, like, did you watch Dexter or what? I didn't see that half of the view of the person yeah, well, you won't be able to see the comments because I blocked them, but you can probably tell from the context of what I'm saying, what went down. It's the internet, people feel no shame flaunting their fetishism. Well, the other thing I addressed earlier on was how BDSM people are much more, like at least, like they have more of a consent thing going on and they tend to be more honest. Like, I don't think internet stuff like BDSM has the power play, I guess. So you have to really be interacting with someone, maybe. I mean, I'm sure there are ways that people don't, but I just feel like there's more honesty and communication in that. Whereas these people, these online fetishists, they try and trick you into being part of whatever it is they're into. That's not I don't like that. I think that's very cowardly. That's like, I mean, I don't like sexual culture. It's fucking everywhere. Maybe that's a pun. Um, you should have seen this tree earlier today. Anyway, that may end up on Facebook for those of you who are Facebook friends with me. Don't send me a friend request unless I actually know you from something though. I've stopped taking random friend requests. Anyway, as like okay, so I don't like sexual culture generally, but in terms of the hierarchy of how much people annoy me, those dishonest online fetishists are like right down the fucking bottom. Because they have no principles. Like, at least BDSM people are very much into consent, and then it's not meant to be about tricking people into stuff. It's meant to be a proper exchange. They have a respect system. Bloody hell. Anyway, foot guy. Well, you can go back and watch the foot guy stuff. I mean, I'm not going to screenshot what he wrote because I'm just like it started off as a normal conversation, and then he's like, "Can you show us your feet or something?" And I'm like, "You're done." Yeah, you guys missed out on that. Going back to the start of my YouTube days when a lot of them were turning up, and they still think they can turn up. He even asked me how old I am. He thought I was 24, and I said I'm 32. If I'm 32, I've been around in the world, even if I'm still calling myself or gone back to calling myself asexual. That doesn't mean I know nothing. Like, when I started my channel, yes, I didn't know anything, but I've been around a while. I think I figured it out now. Texas and then, oh, did they? I don't know if Australian Netflix has that show. I haven't seen much fuss about it over here. But yeah, no. I mean, I've tried not to look too much about it at it, but the things I've seen in it, I'm just like, even if you're trying to make a point, this is probably not the way to do it, you know. And it's definitely going to have pedos watching it. I don't know. So I guess go Texas, see what happens with that. Yeah, no, but yeah, no, back to the whole like suspicion about the guy and his Japanese, and me being suspicious. Another reason I think I've gotten more suspicious is because my ex was a really suspicious person. He was very paranoid, and always overanalyzing people around him. And so like I sort of was like, oh, is that what you're and some of it I guess was probably useful so that I'm like, can catch some of this stuff going on. But he's a little bit over the top, I think. Like, even like having people watch me on YouTube, he was not happy with that. And I'm like, you knew I was a YouTuber. Oh, fuck's sake. Anyway, just gonna make sure I'm not missing anything too. Yeah. Anyway, no, how did I even get onto the topic of that Patreon guy? I don't even remember. Does anyone remember how I got onto that topic? Who knows? This is just me jumping from thing to thing, hey. No, people are weird. And I guess another thing about him, and there's some people on the internet who get mad at me if I don't show the same interest. Bear costume. Oh, that Patreon money, and I don't have a lot of Patreon money anymore because of pandemic and also random guy getting upset. Yeah, okay, thank you. So we're in US now. I forgot we have some kind of. Oh, America is just like. I can't even. I can't even. I can only odd at this point. Bear costume. Well, a lot more of you are going to have to sign up to Patreon in much higher numbers and much higher money numbers before I can afford a bear costume, especially if it's going to be a good bear costume. What kind of bear? Oh my God. Well, I think brown bear, grizzly bear. Which one's the big one? Is it the grizzly bear that's big? I don't know. But I probably, because I'm small, it probably wouldn't. Fucking panda. Pandas are as bad as koalas. Let them go extinct. They don't want to live. Let them go, you know? Fuck. You know? Some animals are just asking to go extinct. The fucking panda is one of them. Grizzly, yeah, big one. The only problem with the big one is I'm small. So would that work? I don't know. And I know where this is going. You guys just want to see me in a furry costume. I know about furries. I've heard their culture is not as innocent as it looks on the outside. For a while, I was watching a channel where a guy like left the furry community and all that, but lost interest in that pretty quickly. And baby grizzly. Dear, oh dear. Oh. No, see, I think I'm a little bit bigger than that. No. If someone wants to donate a bear costume, I'll wear it. Good luck, guys. If I was a big YouTuber, though, and I made that kind of a comment, holy shit, someone would do it. Baby bear cub's pretty big. Where do I donate to? I guess I have the voice going. Oh, shit, man. Are we all on drugs now? Can you imagine if I took drugs? Like, how much worse this would be? On the flip side, though, if I already act like I'm on drugs normally, would drugs make me just seem normal? Koalas are failures. Yeah, smooth brains, shit eating, survives on poisonous leaves, somehow they're still around. Yeah. Have you read that copy paste thing from Reddit or whatever where they go on about how horrible and useless koalas are? I don't know. I just. Yes, exactly that. I'm glad someone agrees with me. I'm just like, and then also like the George Carlin thing, right? 99% of everything that's ever lived has gone extinct. We didn't kill them all. Like they went extinct before we even turned up. So that's just how life is. And even if we half exploded the planet, there'd still be some extremophile bacteria surviving somehow. Like they're so dumb. The leaves have to be on the rent and they're doing. Oh man, like I think that might be a myth actually. Like you can, as long as it's on a twig or I don't know. But yeah, no, they're pretty dumb. At least kangaroos are trying, right? And in some places they're such a pest that you can kill them and eat them. And you can get kangaroo jerky. I think it's easier to get at the airport, but I have seen like kangaroo meat in the supermarket, and apparently it's like pretty sustainable stuff too. Just how it compares to a cow. I don't know. It's been a while. Koalas growl. I think they make a strange noise, but yeah. I don't know. Yeah, no, George Carlin. I think I'm that level of like dead inside that it's hard for me to care about a lot of environmental stuff. We have kangaroo meat in the. Oh, cute. Yeah, well, I mean, because like kangaroos, they're everywhere. So, and I think there's some kangaroos in Europe because someone took them there and now they just exploded. How much is kangaroo jerky? I have no idea because I've never really needed to buy it. I had crocodile pizza at the Rocks one time. The Rocks is sort of the area near the Harbour Bridge on the city side. Yeah, It was just heaps chewy. It's a bit overrated. Like, it didn't really taste like anything in particular. It was mainly the sauce that you tasted. Um, I push each other out of trees. How was it? Yeah. Yeah. If you wanna eat it, like, did I say crocodile pizza? Because that's what I meant. I'm just my brain's at that stage where I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, crocodile pizza. I think the main reason you should eat crocodile pizza is just so that you can say you ate a crocodile. I have eaten a crocodile. Hmm. Anyway, George Carlin, yes. I mean, with environmental stuff, right? Well, like I said, it didn't taste like anything in particular. It tastes like the sauce, and it was a little bit too chewy. So, as a food, as a bragging thing, though. Anyway, yeah, no, with environmental stuff, saving the planet is very up yourself. It depends on what you're interested in. If you're interested in saving life itself, don't worry so much because life will survive long after we've fucked ourselves over. But if you're interested in a nice place for us to live, that's different. But that's self-interest. Don't pretend it's saving the planet. And buffalo jerky. Yes. I don't know that I've ever had buffalo of any kind. Um, can't think of it. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, no, environmental stuff. I think the more that I learn about solar and wind, the more I become pro-nuclear. I don't know, I live in a house. Not even surrounded by white. Well, I mean, like, if you're surrounded by people, that means you have to hunt people, right? It's ancient cultures, right? Cannibalism is ancient cultures. Celebrate your past and all that. Just don't eat the brains because that's where disease, you get weird diseases from that. Anyway, thorium, I I'm not 100% sold on the thorium thing, but there are better nuclear things these days. And like, um, oh, I've upset you guys. That's amazing. I don't know. Like, see, the thing is, Japan has nuclear stations everywhere, and they're an earthquake prone country. And in Australia, we've got like nothing. We've got masses of land that almost no one even touches. Um, and you can supply so much, you can supply a ridiculous amount of energy in a small land space for like 100 years if you care for the reactor, the design, if you care for it and all that, it can last for ages. Whereas with solar panels and wind turbines, they last maybe 20 years. Each one is very inefficient, like they rarely operate anywhere close to 100% efficiency. And then after 20 years, you have to rip them up. They're very difficult to recycle. You put so much resources into making the damn things, and then you have to put more resources into either breaking them up or putting them into landfill. You take up a ridiculous amount of land area. It's just like, and more people have died installing rooftop solar than have ever died in nuclear accidents. It's like, what, you know? And these days, we have the technology to use nuclear waste as a power source, and like nuclear waste just goes into these little canisters instead of the rivers or the landfill. Like, of all the waste that humanity produces, nuclear waste is the most controlled and contained. So hey, geothermal, if you live in the right places, is doable, but a lot of the places we don't currently have the technology to make that really work. Here politicians are finally getting that they can't just fill up the whole country with windmills and solar panels. Yeah, well, if you wanted to power, like someone did a calculation of like, if you wanted to power the UK with wind turbines, like even out into the ocean, you would have to surround the UK with so many wind turbines. It's just like, where do you even get the resources to build that? Like, you would have to mine so much shit. It's just like, maybe one day we will come up with solar and wind technology that's actually makes sense. But we're not there yet. Like, yes, let's keep developing them. But to think that, I mean, the thing about solar and wind is it's not good enough yet. So, like, even with batteries, and batteries themselves are so toxic as well. Um, no, like, a lot of these things have to be backed up by gas. Hello, gas produces carbon dioxide. Is no one paying attention to that? Oh, whereas nuclear doesn't. Here, real problem. The more power we generate, the more we start using it. Yeah, but the thing is with nuclear, because it's not, you only need a small amount of fuel to run a ridiculous amount of power for a ridiculous amount of time. What you can do with that is you can start powering carbon capture. If you tried to power carbon capture with solar panels, that's so inefficient it wouldn't work. Yeah, a tangent instead of me watching Angel. God damn it. There's more people messaging me on Facebook too, but I'll ignore because I'm just, yeah, no. If you want to do carbon capture, because like it's not enough to be carbon neutral. All we do is if we stabilize carbon levels, you're still going to see heating for a while. It's not going to settle down for a while. You need to go backwards, carbon capture, and you're only going to be able to do that really with something like nuclear. I mean, maybe geothermal will get there eventually, but it's not widely doable. To sum up this madness, pro-nuclear, pro-cannibalism, anti-koala. Yeah, let's do that. Plants live on gas and make oxygen, so plant more plants, it's fine. Yeah, but then where are people going to live? Especially like we're not expecting the population to stabilize until I forget what year, but it's a way into the future. So like a lot of it is balancing like lifestyles as well, and there's a lot of poorer countries who want, like, look at me in this fucking room. Can you imagine like someone 500 years ago having all this shit and I'm not even like a king or a queen? Maybe in my head, I'm some kind of, grr, bow down to me kind of thing. But in reality, I'm just some random in my bedroom in my pajamas and I have all this stuff, right? Um, and the quality of life of people in wealthier countries, like we don't die as early, we don't suffer as much, except when you get to old age, because medicine keeps us alive for like ages. And there's a point where medicine becomes more of a torture for some people. I don't really want to live too long, but I also get depression, so that's to be expected. But there are a lot of countries where people aren't doing that well, and are you going to tell them that they can't develop to have at least some of the things that we have, like good healthcare? I mean, America is developed but it doesn't really have good healthcare, but other people want proper healthcare. And I hope, if I've got any Americans in the comments, I might start up another fire. But no, there are countries who, like, they want electricity, clean water, all these kinds of things. And the way that the rest of us have gotten there is with power. Like, the more power you produce, the better your lifestyle can be overall. And if you want them to be green, I think nuclear, I'm increasingly like thinking nuclear is the way you have to go, because I mean, especially nowadays, we don't have shit reactors. Like Chernobyl was even, they were doing bullshit with a bullshit design. Like they fucked it up in every way possible. That was very much a man-made thing. Fukushima didn't actually do that much damage. I mean, there was a lot of panic. And that was also like a dodgy design, and that was an older reactor design as well. And let's ignore all the other reactors in Japan that are absolutely fine. My mum, who lived in Japan, like, she's Japanese, she thinks it's weird that we're so scared of it in Australia. When you see what castles look like, castles must have been so uncomfortable, because can you imagine all that rock and like, ugh. Yeah, tiny thing they on the earth. They lie about overpopulation. Most of the earth is land where no one lives. Yeah, but no one wants to live in the desert. That's why Australia only has like 1/10 the population of America. Like, we've got so much land that you can't do anything with, unless you're an indigenous person who knows like which little roots to dig up. Europe is more a coastal thing. We kind of want to live where jobs are. So much of the earth's surface is not good. Most of the jobs are on or near the coast. Fukushima is conspiracy driven. Playing any games lately? We are changing the subject to games. but I feel like I had something else to do with the environment that I wanted to rant about. Anyway, basically, I want nukes. Give me nukes. Stick a nuke in my backyard. I'll be fine, mate. Any games lately? No. I have an amazing gaming computer, but my Xbox thing expired, and we saw how badly Final Fantasy went anyway. That last episode. Oh, I do have my Free Space CD there, and I think it runs on this computer, but I haven't started it up. I just haven't been interested. I'm trying to get back into the creative bandwagon. I'm trying. I did some, so I don't remember what I showed you guys last time. That might have been one of my creative rehab ones. And then one day I'll have to tell you the whole story of like my RPGing days and what that character is all about, and a big nostalgia trip. And then this one, and then I didn't put the thing the backing paper in properly, so I got a lot of this crap, and I just like drew over it and made it a little bit different, so you can see it's not like, doesn't quite match up, but some of it does. Ooh, fun. And I think that's it. Yeah, no, that's just like the backing paper I forgot to put in. Anyway, and I've done some poems. Well, no, I think I've only done 2 poems, and then some days I just haven't done anything creative. But I'm trying, because I miss old me. Like, yes, I was probably crazier then than I am now. But I want the good bits of old me. I don't need the shit parts of old me, but I need the good bits of old me back, which includes some more of the creative stuff, because I used to do so much stuff, and then I think that last depression really messed with my brain. Anyway, Blue Monkers? I don't know what that is. Do you have Minecraft? No, I don't. Pandemic playing Minecraft. I don't want to play any new games. I've got to finish Free Space. I don't even remember where I'm up to, so I'll probably have to watch my Let's Plays from my Dell. And I think I tried to transfer my save game over to my Alienware. So next time I get around to playing Free Space, I guess we'll see if that worked, if I found the right files and transferred them to the right place. Cross fingers. I mean, it's a game from the 90s, so it should be doable, but, whether or not I did it properly, I don't know. And then, what else? Beyond Earth. I started playing the game in 4K. I was like, maybe we should finish that game, or at least play a little bit more, but play it in HD so that I can actually see what I'm doing. 4K is just 4K gaming. My eyesight's not good enough for that shit. Did I get out of the nebula? Maybe. Do I even remember the controls? And the controls will be slightly different on this keyboard, so I've got to get used to that. Because this keyboard has... this keyboard has a function key, which my old keyboard didn't have. And so now, like, when I'm doing stuff in Photoshop, I'm trying to press the Alt key, and I keep pressing the Windows key by accident because everything's moved along by one. It's just like, there is a professor with a weird name like, what? Pines and documentary. Everything you know is a lie. It's good. It's on YouTube. Yeah. There's a lot of bullshit out there. Speaking of bullshit, I have no idea what's going on with Trump. Does he really have COVID? Is he really better? Is he in that nice honeymoon period that most people get in the first week of COVID, and then the second week they like fall off the cliff and die? I think it's later on in the disease you think you're getting better and then you get shit. But he's had like a gazillion treatments, and I find it a bit weird that they're just experimenting on the president. Like, never mind Trump, pretend it's any president, and they just go and experiment the crap out on him. I'll be like, I don't know about that. And then they took him there out of an abundance of caution, and then they just send him back after 3 days. And like, what happened to the caution? Is he that hard to keep in one spot? Speaking of abundance of caution, maybe he's on so much drugs he doesn't know himself. I don't think the drugs make a difference. He's such a nutcase. But no, abundance of caution, right? When that happened on the news, my mum was very confused because she's like, abundance is that like what does that mean? And I'm like, it means like lots of caution. And she's like, oh, I thought it was the opposite. I was like, eh, nani? And it turns out she thought they meant abandoned or something, like abandoning caution. And the reason for that is like in Japanese, you have five vowels, a, I, u, e, o. There is no ah sound. You have like a or e. Those are the closest. There's no ah sound. So when like the word abandoned in a Japanese sort of Japanese vowels would be abandoned. So then you think abundance, and that's where the confusion was. And so I was like, abundance, abandoned, and she's like, "Can you hear the difference?" And yes, I can hear the difference because I'm a native English speaker. But she couldn't hear the difference between that. The way that she ended up distinguishing the words was by the ending, abundance, abandoned. That was a fun Japanese English moment. And then we were talking about more stuff and like, words in English that are spelt the same and pronounced the same, and then words in English that are spelt the same but pronounced differently. And then also like I still don't understand in Japanese suika and suika. I don't understand the difference. I know there's something tonal going on, but which one's which, I don't know. Um, and that's, I'm trying to explain to mum, like, because you're a native Japanese speaker, you understand the difference. I don't. To me, they're the same word. In English, like, it doesn't really work like that. There's no tonality. You know which word it is by context. Anyway, the hospitals killed a bunch of people. Need in fact keep out for every ventilator they use. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really want to go into those kinds of conspiracy kind of things. Although I will say, ventilators are not fun. And earlier in the pandemic, I think they didn't know how to treat people, so it became extreme quickly. Whereas now we have more drugs that we know have an effect or might have an effect, so it's a bit easier to treat people. He wasn't the first person to take the therapy. No. I know he wasn't the first, but he was put on a new one. But it's like it's not confirmed. You know what I mean? In the US, it's weird now. Comics are going on them at movie theaters closing. I don't care. I prefer not to be put on where I just die. Yeah. Except now the chances of needing to be put on a ventilator, especially for people roughly our age, I'm assuming there's no really old people here. I think your chances of being on a ventilator are a lot smaller now, because they have other treatments to help you out. Unless you have like a real, one of those conditions that really interacts badly with it. So hopefully you'll be okay. I know a lot of you guys are Northern Hemisphere and you're going into winter. Sucks to be you, but good luck with it. Australia's doing okay. Got some mystery cases in New South Wales at the moment, though, so we'll see how we go. Anyway, no. So that's American. Creative goals. Yes, take us away from the politics. I don't have any. I mean, like, I want to join a band, but I've sort of accepted that that may not happen. So, what do I do in the meantime? I try and regain some creativity. That's my big problem, is I just don't have the same creative whatever. Yeah, because ideally, if I can't find a band, I would write my own stuff and just get back on stage as a soloist, but I don't have the inspiration or the drive for it, so, and then, like, yeah, a lot of the other creative stuff I used to do, it's so easy to just be a blob, post my depression, yeah, just trying to gain back, like, yes, I recovered from depression, but I don't feel like I recovered overall as a person. Yeah. The emo versus goth, yeah. I think I did 13 of them. Maybe. I feel like 13 is the number I would have stopped on because, 13, ooh. Yeah. No, that was a bit of fun. But yeah, I think I'm glad you liked them. I think though, like, I don't care as much about my identity at the moment because I feel like I don't have one, so it's hard to be attached to stuff and just, like, get into stuff. I'm trying to get some of it back. Some of that, like, I'm trying to watch Angel again and, like, other stuff, try and get some of that side of things going, but, oh, it's on my DeviantArt. I wonder how I can link it to you guys. Gallery. They've changed the design. Here it is. I might have posted it on Facebook as well, but it's DeviantArt is where I first put it. Does that link work in the? I won't click it in case it takes me away from live streaming. But yeah, so I just popped it in the chat. Have a look. Maybe save it for later. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it works. Awesome. So I'm just trying to get back some more of that, but I think also like being less unstable, my brain just doesn't feel like it needs to do as much. And I find I don't have as much that I want to express. Like I used to just sort of get full of stuff that needed to come out. These days, I don't like, I don't think Cam will believe me, but these days I don't go on as many rants and things as I used to. There's just, and like with the creative stuff, there's just less that needs to come out. Most of my art and all that was because I had stuff in me that needed to come out, sometimes mood related, sometimes just because I'm a psycho. I don't get that as much since my last depression, and it's kind of frustrating. But on the other hand, I think some of it might also be possibly hormonal. I feel like I went through puberty at a normal stage, but I feel like I went through the teenage rebellion stuff a bit late. But also like the hormonal stuff continues up until you're around 30. And my depression finished around just before I turned 30. So in theory, my brain has now entered a more chill developmental stage. And the next time that I'm likely to get if you're assuming that my brain follows the pattern of other people, maybe around my 40s or 50s, I'll go to that midlife crisis moment. But my life is very different to what most other people's are by the time they're 40 or 50. So it might not happen that way. And I don't think it would happen in the same way as being, teenager 20s. So I don't know how much of my past craziness has been related to that sort of brain development, because like I remember stuff even before puberty, weird shit about me. But yeah. And then I think depression really killed a lot. I don't feel things as intensely as I used to, just in general. Yeah, sorry to make things a little bit depressing. How about we'll get onto some. I'll make Cam happy again. Fucking liberals, eh? They've gone back to their usual stuff. Like I was happy with the way the liberals were doing the pandemic itself. Yeah, well, I feel boring now. I just anyway, the Liberals. So the Liberal Party in Australia is our Conservative Party. Confusing for Americans, I know, but that's how it is. And they've been in charge of our pandemic response, and I was happy with the way they were handling it. But now they've released their budget, and they've just gone completely backwards. And I suppose, we could already see that happening with the way they cut JobKeeper, JobSeeker, even though the pandemic is still having this massive effect. But their budget has a lot of problems. And I think this is probably the Labour Party's first chance to regain any ground. I think because the pandemic was so well handled early on by the Morrison government, Labour would try to say stuff, but a lot of the time they're just pushed into the background. No time for you guys. We're handling a crisis here. And they sort of played it along, but they'd occasionally give criticisms, especially as things chilled out. But it's still like, you guys are irrelevant. Back the fuck off. But yeah, I think this budget is the first chance Labour really have to claw back some ground. And from here on towards the next election, which some people are saying might be next year, they might bring it forward because they think they're going to have, goodwill from the pandemic. But I don't know. I think the plan is to announce more stuff for Job Seeker later in the year as they, assess the situation or whatever. But I think if the Liberals don't do something about that, and if Labor takes the right strategy, because I think Bill Shorten really fucked things up. Like, he would have won that, except he just got a little bit too ambitious with the things he was trying to do, and took it too far. But if Labor play their cards right, I think they might be able to gain enough ground to be to pose a real challenge to the Liberal Party whenever the next election is. And I think the ScoMo's government need to be careful about how they go about, because there's a lot of people, older people in particular, who lost their jobs through no fault of their own, who aren't being supported in this budget, really. And older people are more likely to vote Conservative. So, if you fuck them over, good luck to you. I mean, they're focusing on the younger people. Maybe they hope they'll get younger votes, but I don't think young people tend to think like that. The younger people tend to be more idealistic, so they'll go for the more left-leaning parties, even if the right-wing parties seem to be taking care of them. At least in Australia. I know in America, the things are a little bit different, and especially like with online influencer types, some of them lean more conservative because they're running their own businesses and blah, 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 blah. But my impression of Australia is younger people will lean towards the left, and the government's sort of taking care of them a little bit more. And their argument is something like, if you let young people go onto welfare, they're more likely to stay on it long term. But on the other side, when older people lose their jobs, it's very hard for them to get back in, because there is that whole ageism thing, companies want the younger people. So, like, everyone's going to stay on welfare if you don't support them. Like, it doesn't matter about age. Look, America is so polarized. Australia's different. Australia overall is more centrist. My theory is that it has to do with compulsory voting, so that none of the special interest groups can get power, because I won't even get into that. Just like, I think America's very polarized. I don't think the two sides understand each other. I don't think they even speak the same language. When they talk about certain things, I can see that, the left doesn't understand what the right's on about, and the right doesn't understand what the left's on about. But they think they understand each other. And I think that's the cause of a lot of conflict. And they're also not interested in seeing each other's perspectives. Like, even when they try, they don't let go of enough of their own bias or their own beliefs to even really take the other side seriously enough to understand what they're trying to do. It just frustrates. Yeah, America. That's why that ABC show is called Planet America, because, like, what even is America? It's bloody insane. But yeah, my theory is that Australia is more centrist because of compulsory voting. So you're less likely to get the wackos. If you don't have compulsory voting, then you have the wackos. The wackos get their people excited, and they're the only ones who vote. So of course you get wackos in. And then the other side, the other extreme, they get their wackos, and those are the only people voting. And then you just get wacko land. Whereas in Australia, most of the people don't give a shit. They look at the wackos and they're like, well, I'm not voting for you guys. And they just vote for someone in the center. Yeah, but I think America's lost cause at this point. Be interesting to see what happens. But it's, America's been insane for decades, really. It's not even a Trump thing. Trump is just the end result of something that's been going on for fucking ages. The real bad guys behind everything have a website. What? Oh, you are, aren't you? You're behaving very well. Will Trump get another term? I don't fucking know. Biden, I think on Malin Baker's channel, he said I think he described their debate as being like two old men with walking sticks trying to beat each other. I wish they would do that. Scrap the debates, give them both weapons, and let them have at it. I think that'd be much better entertainment for the world, and you'd probably get the same outcome anyway. Maybe Biden can have a walking stick and we'll give Trump a toy fire truck. He seems to like trucks, so, it can have lights and real horn sounds and all that, and they can hit each other, and we'll see who comes out. I mean, if Biden doesn't wander off the stage and get lost in the middle of the fight, I was really hoping one of the interesting young candidates would get in on the Democrats. Yeah, bring back some violence. Yeah, let's do it. They'll have the same result. America's that fucked up. It doesn't matter who gets in. Everything's going to be fucked up for a long time. Oh, and if Trump still has COVID when they've got if they decide to do another debate, stick him in one of those inflatable balloon things, those balls, that you can walk around in. Get them both into a bubble, just to be safe, and let them bash into each other in their little balls. I was hoping that, like, here we had the NRL, like at the height of the pandemic, the NRL, which is the National Rugby League or something, basically blasphemy because I come from a union family. But anyway, I was really hoping that instead of letting them play sport normally, they'd put them in those little bubble things, and then they could just like bash into each other while wearing these big bubbles, because like social distancing, right? Yeah, like a hamster ball. Although you can also get ones where like only your head is visible and you've got this massive ball around you and you just sort of like boom, boom. Sorry, Hopi. Every time I make a big noise, he's like, "What's going on?" That would be much more amusing, and it's COVID safe, right? Anyway, no, I just I don't know what's going to happen. And I observe things that are happening, but when it comes to me forming like a real opinion, I find that difficult because like I think it's all fucked up. Everything is fucked up. I mean, the Liberals had me going for a bit there, but they've gone back to being the same old strategy. There's nothing new in there, really. They've missed out a lot of stuff. My mum is now sold on the modern monetary theory thing. Maybe we should just go for it. Like, everything's fucked up anyway. It's worked okay for Japan. They're practically doing modern monetary theory. Let's give it a crack. $1 trillion debt. Oh, and we're probably going to have to spend more because, are we really going to get a vaccine done and distributed within the government's time frame? They're being very optimistic with a lot of their estimates, and I'm just, missing segments of the community who could use support, and my brain's shutting down. Yeah, I don't know. The world's a mess, Everything's a mess. It's just the chaos of the world. And like, doesn't really matter because we're all going to die anyway, eventually. So whatever's happening now, we think it's dramatic, then happy thoughts. Not holding your breath. Yeah, you'll go blue before they have a fucking vaccine. But like, it's not just developing one. They've got to distribute it and hope that it lasts more than a few months of effect. Like, vaccines aren't as easy as people like to think. That's why there are things you can't really vaccinate for, like the common cold. No, we're all going to die eventually. So as dramatic as everything seems right now, it doesn't really matter. I love that. I love when, musicians die or whatever. There were some famous ones who like sung in the war, or I don't know, people I'd never even heard of, but they were important for like 80 years ago or whatever. And they have a recording of them singing. They're like, oh, the voice is going to live on forever. It's not. You'll have that recording for as long as humans are hanging on to it, maybe, but everything ends, everything decays. The whole universe will die at some point. So anything in it's not going to last forever. Like, get over yourselves. I know it's comforting to think that kind of shit, but if I die early or whatever, please don't say bullshit stuff about me unless you're saying it like, as some kind of a joke. Like, she would have wanted this. No, just like, When it's a funeral, you want things. You want closure. I'm dead. I don't care. Well, yeah. Well, I can imagine, like, some of you, like, now that I've said don't say sappy things about me, a bunch of you would totally be like, oh, yeah, she was such a nice person and blah, 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 and all this kind of shit. And I'll be like, well, I'm dead. I can't stop you, can I? But yeah, no, like, she would have wanted us to burn down as many buildings as possible. Yes, please do that kind of stuff. That's much better. I would have wanted that. Destructionism, fuck yeah. God. I found a bunch of my destructionism notes the other day, and it's like, yeah, I miss past me. I miss being crazy enough to, like, get that far. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Go nuts. Like the kids on markup day at the end of school, except more extreme because it's destructionism and not the end of school, Get North Korea in on it. That'll be fun. Anyway, I don't know. The world's really fucked up. The interesting thing, though, like, with all this existential crap I'm on about, when I'm depressed, that stuff bothers me. When I'm not depressed, I'm just like, hey, guys, you're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. None of this means anything. You will be forgotten. Doesn't bother me because I'm fine right now. Like, it's interesting. And I guess that's maybe more proof that my depression tends to be biological because it's not about particular thoughts. I think, like, early on, when did I first get depressed? Maybe in year 8. Maybe that's when I was starting to get depressed. Like, the implications of atheism hitting and all that kind of stuff. But on the other hand, that's also when I went through puberty, and puberty does tend to be when a lot of mental health issues first start to emerge. And I think it's because your brain is going through that rapid development from childhood into adulthood. Like, there's that huge amount of stuff. I still have some vitamin D. I'm not consistent with it. Omega-3, I don't think so, and B vitamins, I don't think so. But anytime I've done a blood test, the only thing I've ever been low in is like vitamin D and maybe iron once. So if you're not low in something, extra vitamins are just going to be expensive for urine, basically. You're related to personally part of lecture. I don't remember what this is about. Oh, what? Seems a bit... I think, like, I don't know who this Professor Lisa Martin... I'm not sure how that's connected to things we've been talking about. Lisa Martin? I don't know. I'm not surprised. You're like, well, I'm practically a vampire, aren't I? I mean, if I had more magical thinking, maybe I would have been one of those kids who bought into the real vampire lifestyle. Like, I definitely found it relatable in a lot of ways. Martin. No, what is the thing I'm supposed to be looking up from that person? Everything you know is a lie. Is that it? Just like, I don't know that I have patience for a documentary. Everything you know is a lie. There's a few different videos. Lisa No, it's coming up with a bunch of other stuff. How young people join violent extremist groups. Still going. Yeah, I know. I was gonna watch Angel, and I really needed to pee, and I was gonna end the stream, but then everyone's like, no, we'll wait. So I went and I peed, and then I straightened my hair, and here I am still rambling like an hour later. Anyway, no, I think if I still kind of want to do vampire videos, like revisit that topic, because, yeah, I'm worried that the Sanguinarius website would die. And so, some of that information is fascinating. So But yeah, I think if I'd been more spiritual or whatever. Okay, I really, you've lost me really. um, yeah, no, I think I would have been into the vampire subculture because there's a lot that I find relatable. Also, like, I went through a period of just sitting in the dark a lot because sometimes the light's like, maybe that's a depression thing. I don't know. Um, but yeah, and then like, oh, I got badly sunburned when I was a kid, so that's one of the reasons I tend to be, like, very sun safe, and especially living in Australia, skin cancer is a big problem here. Although, Asians get less skin cancer. It's an interesting thing, like, you would assume in general, the darker your skin is, the more resistant you are to the effects of the sun, except for Asian skin. For some reason, Asian skin is much better than it should be at resisting the effects of the sun. So maybe I get lucky and I don't die in the Australian sun. But I'm not taking chances because I did get badly burned. Never gone into real vampirism. I wouldn't be that bad. I have self control mostly. Mostly. It's been a while since shit's happened. Uh no. I stay out of the sun. I'm pale because I stay out of the sun. And I look younger than I am, so maybe I am a vampire. Oh, the green tea. You all think I'm a murderer. No one's caught me, so it doesn't count. If there's culture of vampires, there's some culture of vampire hunters. There have been like murder cases of people who think they're vampire hunters. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's been at least one case of that happening, but it's so long since I looked it up that I don't know how legit it is. There was a period a while back where real vampires were on the TV, and they were talking about the blood drinking culture, but they didn't really go into a lot. Photoshop photos of you outside during the day. I did a video of me outside during the day. So there you go. Yeah, no, that if you can think of something, chances are someone's done it. People are insane. But yeah, no, the vampire culture is interesting. It's also got like this culture of consent, like the BDSM thing, and in some ways, I'm sure there are some people who treat them as like a sort of crossover thing because there'll be some people who'll be into the vampire thing as a sex thing. But yeah, no, in terms of like blood drinking, there's a lot of the consent stuff going on. There's also a lot of safety. Like, it's like don't drink blood from anyone you wouldn't have sex with because of like STDs, but also bloodborne diseases. And then, they have these whole things about like checking blood, like the safety and all that, and how much blood the human body can ingest before you throw up. It's not a lot. Which should tip some people off that maybe they're not actually vampires. They think that the blood helps with the energy leak that they've got, but you can't even hold it into your body. So yeah, it's something small. So yeah, but then they have things like vamping out and the beast thing, and those things I find very relatable, which means that the things that I experience, I'm not the only one. How about that? I'm just not deluded enough to think I'm a vampire. I am my own kind of crazy. Uh, no, there's a lot of interesting stuff. There's also like weird shit where they think that they have heightened senses, especially when they're vamping out. Knows actually she knows much about blood and cannibalism. No, see, when atheism, I grew up Catholic, right? And when I was younger, like I wanted to be a priest, but turns out chicks can't be priests. I knew all the words to church. I used to carry the damn book. I used to do readings and stuff in my cute little dress, had a little flowery dress. And I was good at reading, so um I don't know, because I learn things quickly. Anyway, so atheism, like I grew up thinking my life had a purpose. And then late primary school, I think I came across the concept of atheism. I think my grandma got me, what's it called? It's got a new name. No, what's the original name? The original name Northern Lights by that Pullman guy. And my grandma got me that to read, but then, hello. Oh, Anna. Hello, Anna. I just got to, is it chocolate powder? Ah, it's Milo. My Japanese cousin. And I'll put a little tasty. Sorry, guys, just Japanese family. Ta-da! Anyway, no, so yeah, me becoming an atheist. I think like I already had a sense because I'd like pray and not get any response, and I'm like, like if God can do anything, why doesn't He answer? And so I'd be like, okay, if you're there, do this, and it never happens. No, I sent her a picture of our dessert, and she's asking what the chocolate powder is. Northern Lights. So my grandma got me that to read. I think I was sick. She used to get me books to read when I was sick. I'd get sick for like a week at least once a year, and I'd go to my grandparents' place and just like read a book. And so I think that must have been what was going on. And I enjoyed the book. And then there's more books, so like let's get the second and third. But she was not happy with that, and I walked in on her. I think talking to my parents or some other relatives, and she was saying she didn't want to because like it's written by an atheist. And I walk in and I'm like, what's an atheist? And they said it's someone who doesn't believe in God. And I was like, suddenly everything makes sense. It hadn't occurred to me that it was possible to not believe in God. It just seemed like a given. But then I was like, hang on. It's possible not to believe in God. I think that makes sense. But it didn't really hit me until maybe year 7 or year 8, like early high school. So I guess as I was going through puberty and the brain's developing a bit more, that's when it sort of hit me that if there's no God, my life has no purpose anymore. And I didn't take that so well. Technically, because you're Catholic and paper is based around many, one can challenge you. Yeah, no, I don't think so. What even counts as a girl today, though, really? Except the Pope. Don't give me ideas, guys. No, because then I'd have to put on the whole pageantry. No. Yeah, no, it was sort of early high school, early puberty that my brain suddenly I'm like, "Oh shit, there's no meaning to life. What am I even doing?" It was very confusing. And then like a lot of my friends, instead of being into Pokemon, suddenly they're into boys, which is just like, I don't get it. I think we weren't allowed to have dances in our first year because of Catholic school. In the second year of high school, then I missed the first dance, and everyone came back like just talking about boys. All of a sudden, everyone is boy obsessed. So I went to the next dance to try and like understand what the fuck I missed. And I really tried to get into it. But yeah, no, it just wasn't for me. So I was just like, well, all my friends are idiots. What do I do? So yeah, my social situation changed, and then there's dealing with the consequences of there being no God. And so there's a bit of depression, but also that's when I sort of was, I mean, I think all this happened a bit gradually, but it really hit me maybe year 8. But I think, yeah, it's sort of a growing thing. And when September 11 happened, and I find out there are other religions. Like I sort of knew because I knew Jewish people were a thing, but it didn't click for me that they were different religions. Hearing all this stuff about Islam, suddenly like, oh, there's all these other religions. So then I started, well, okay, if there's no Catholic God or no Christian God, maybe there'll be something else. Maybe something else will speak to me, or maybe I'll find some other belief systems. So that's part of the reason I got so obsessed with different spiritualities, different beliefs, odd beliefs. And that's probably leaked into my interest in different political things, especially people on the extremes. Like, yes, you can have reasonable argument in the middle, but the people on the edges with their strange political beliefs, that's where some of the fun happens. I don't have to agree with them to find them fascinating and watch their stuff. Yeah, no, but all that trying to find something to fit that God-shaped hole is part of why, and so, vampirism, like real vampire, that's kind of a belief system. And so that's how I sort of got into that. And yeah, anyway, That's how I know about blood and cannibalism. It's not because I did have one boyfriend who was a little bit more like, no, that's not. I'm sorry. I know I teased some details, but I'm just like, how would I say that in a way that doesn't sound? I'm a tease, I know. Technically, we already did that. Girl popes. Ba-ba-ba-ba. My own country, super rich. Yeah, I don't think the Catholic Church is sustainable long term. Like, yes, there's still a lot of them, but for how long? You know that wealth to buy nukes. Oh my god. Ditch Pokemon for social. But I know, right? Like, I had a fine social life in primary school. Then all of a sudden, I mean, like, primary school, there were still things that I didn't understand. Like, people were into the Brady Bunch, and I stayed up late. Like, I convinced my parents to let me stay up late one day to watch that, and I was so disappointed. I was like, why are people into this? It's fucking boring. So, let's not stay up late anymore. This is when I was quite young, primary school. And then also, like, Hanson, that band. I don't understand why people were into that. And yeah, but then high school's when I think things really change, especially because everyone's going through puberty and all our brains change. And like, this is one of the reasons I don't think I have autism, is because I was perfectly fine in primary school. It was only like once all the depression and whatever and people changing, that's when things really went nuts for me. And I probably became a little bit more. I was not so shy when I was younger, like maybe shy around adults and on the phone, but like with other kids, no, I'm fine. And I was on stage. Like, that may explain why I'm a bit more of a performer. Like, I'm still drawn to performance, even if I'm not great at it. Like, especially the acting stuff, I'm not great at. And being a shy person and then coming out of my shell to be someone who screams on stage, like, that's huge. But I think it's because I'm just going back to what I was more like as a kid in a way. 2 hospitals, 1 car park, the biggest collection of medieval artifacts and forbidden books. I see no downside. Pokemon and okay. Humanity took your faith and everything into immense dance and religious theories. No, you've misinterpreted me. I was looking for something, like I was very interested in stuff like, there's Wicca. I didn't get that much into that because it didn't really sound that appealing, but looking at things like that. Pew, 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 pew. You had a boyfriend who ate people sometimes. No, but one time he woke up to find himself trying to eat his pillow. Maybe he was dreaming about eating people. I don't know. Who are maladjusted to a profoundly sick society. A cannibal boyfriend who disappeared under suspicious circumstances. He ate himself. No. He only ate the pillow. I love that you guys think I have some feelings that kind of like. I will let you guys think what you want to think because it's probably more entertaining than reality. It's a bit like was it Ozzy Osbourne who's said to have like bitten off the head of a bat or something, and there's a few different musicians who've had rumors going around, and they're like, well, let's not let the truth get in the way of a good story. Fan theories go wild fast. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear. I walked right into that one, didn't I? The first time that concept the pillow biter thing, right? The first time I heard of that was in high school English. I went to a Catholic school, and yet they assumed that we would know what things like pillow biter mean, and they had to sort of explain it in the most awkward way possible. And Catholic school, we watched Clueless, which has a whole bunch of sex stuff in it that I just didn't understand, and they expected me to understand. I'm like, you guys have not taught this to me. Are you assuming that I encountered this stuff in the wild? I don't read teenage magazines. The first time I read a teenage magazine was because I had an assignment for English. I think even like the last year of English, and I had to write something from the perspective of a teenage magazine. So I had to read one to find out what the fuck they even do. Fuck. Oh dear. And like it was a particular brand of pillow they were telling us as well. And I'm just like, I've never even heard of this brand. How am I supposed to know any of this stuff? Like, come on, guys. Catholic school, what are you doing? Maybe I was the only one who was actually living in a way that was remotely Catholic. I don't know. But I was just like, really? And then also, like, I don't know if it was a feminist school or not. I'm very confused about that. Like, school made me mad at feminism, but I'm also confused about, I don't know, because like they had us doing cooking and sewing and stuff, boring shit like that, while my brother got to do woodworking and like we did woodworking, but only a tiny bit and was shit. And he also got to do electronics. I'm just like, great. So now I cook bad and I sew bad. My brother sews better than me, I reckon. Like, fuck. Fuckity fuck. And we had to watch Clueless just because it's based on some 200-year-old book that also sucked. Yay. Fuck. Give a girls go. Oh. It was not the place for me. No wonder my brain's so like, because I'd just be there and you have to behave a certain way. And I was seen as like a good student, both in terms of my behavior and my grades. Catholic standards, oh. It's just like, it wasn't the place for me. So what I was presenting was not what was going on in my head. And it's no wonder I turned out to be a psycho. Like I was already headed that way anyway. But here's another thing. Like once I became an atheist or I was still going to church because like, to not go to church, we used to go to church every Sunday. That's the kind of, my family used to do that every Sunday. And so I still kept going even after I became an atheist. And because of like all the weird shit going on in my head, I would imagine stuff like, in the shadows and things. My imagination, like putting demons and stuff, especially that dragon, just imagining all this shit. So it was a weird time. I don't really do that imagining thing these days. That was definitely something I did when I was younger. But yeah, no, it took a long time for me to, first of all, pluck up the courage to say I'm not going to church, and then to like just stick to it because it was a bit of a shock for my parents. Also, like my grandma for ages was not happy. She was convinced I was going to go to hell until we went to, like, we used to go out in the city together, and is it St. Mary's Cathedral in the city? And she went to confession there, and I was just sitting in the pews waiting for her. Was I pretending to pray? Probably not. But so I think she definitely talked to the priest about me, because afterwards, suddenly, instead of insisting that I was going to hell for not believing in God and all that, she came out saying, well, as long as I was a good person, I'd be fine. So I'm pretty sure the priest changed her mind on that. So thank you to that priest. But am I a good person? Would I want to go to heaven? I don't know. I'm not impressed with this character called God. Like if we grant him existence, I don't know that I want to be in that club because look at the world and there's a whole lot of bullshit. Anyway, besides, like, where am I going to get the barbecue? And then there's all the crap that goes on in my head. And if you consider that Catholicism assumes that you're all sinners, that was very difficult for me to understand. Going to my first confession, they call it first reconciliation, and the priest asked me what I'm done, and I'm so young that I can't, like, what have I done? I don't think I've done anything. What am I supposed to confess to? I made up some bullshit. So there you go. There's a sin. I lied to the priest because I couldn't think of any actual sins I'd done. But yeah, they tend to assume that you've done something, even when you're a kid, and like, do you have the mental capacity to break some rules? But also, like, just thinking about stuff. Thought crime is a thing. So I've got a lot of thought crime. He doesn't like me. Heaven doesn't sound very fun. Oh, purgatory, yeah, fucking purgatory. Catholic mass could be revamped. Stuff like throwing away an apple to represent the excuse for church full of people throwing apples around. Look, when I get back to my destructionism cult, making up my bullshit cult, I'll throw in a few weird rituals just for you. That's how they get you. They have you lie to a priest. Religion is evil and corrupt as hell. But no, Catholic mass did change a few years back. So the last time I went to like a wedding or a funeral, I don't even remember which. When they say like peace be with you or the Lord be with you or something, instead of saying and also with you, you now say and with your spirit and other stuff. And so like I thought I knew all the stuff. I don't say any of the stuff because like I don't believe it and I don't like saying things that I don't believe. I mean, sometimes I'll misspeak, like, especially when I'm live streaming and I'm trying to think on my feet. Maybe I'll say something that I don't necessarily properly believe, but it's just like in the moment, I can't think of anything else to say. Sometimes also, like, I'll take a side to be an example from that side, but I don't necessarily believe it. So, like, I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. So occasionally I will say things that I don't necessarily believe. But I don't do it on purpose, like consciously, I'm going to say something I don't believe. So in those church services, I don't really participate. I don't think I even kneel when you're supposed to kneel anymore. I just sit in the chair while everyone else is kneeling and praying. Like, yes, I stand out like a sore thumb, but I've probably dressed gothic anyway. Like, even if it's someone's wedding, I'll be in like a nice gothic dress because I don't have anything else. Good luck to them getting me into anything like traditionally nice. Um, uh, but yeah, no, where was I going with that ramble? I don't even know. But yeah, no. I listen along though, even though I don't participate. I listen along, and my brain is expecting certain things because I went to church every Sunday for a long time. So my brain has memorized a lot of stuff, and then things don't go that way, and my brain's like, "What's this?" A bit like when I'm listening to like Linkin Park stuff, and I've got the Reanimation album, so I don't actually know the original songs. So when people play the original songs, my brain gets super confused. Oh my god. Anyway, thank you. I barbecue. You don't need to go to hell to have a cookout. Oh, we've got a barbecue. I just like when I'm dead, right? Assuming any part of me lives on after I'm like dead, which I don't believe happens. I don't believe in souls. I don't believe in afterlife, whatever. But if there was an afterlife, where would I get my barbecue? Would I even be hungry? Would I just eat for the hell of it? Outdoor cooking with meat cremation. Well, there is that time I was told to watch the barbecue. And so that's exactly what I did as everything burned. No one gave me instructions, and I didn't know, like, do I turn it down? Do I turn it off? Do I take the things off? Like, I just needed more instructions. Like, this is one of the things where people are like, maybe you are autistic. I didn't want to fuck anything up. So I was like, okay, like, it's cooking. There's just a lot of smoke, and it was still edible too. But yeah, like, because I don't know how the barbecue works. I don't know what I'm supposed to touch to whatever. I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out if I really tried, but I was just like, yeah, maybe if I just close the lid again, they'll be back soon and it won't be too bad. Make it their problem. They said to watch. They didn't give me any other instructions. So, yeah. This is why I don't barbecue. I don't even cook anyway. Like, I'm not domestic. My brother is much better at the domestic stuff than me. He's better at, like, being an actual person. Anyway, devil's advocate. Yeah. So, like, I will probably piss you off a lot because you'll say some shit and I'll be like, but what about this? Even if I agree with some of the stuff you're saying, I think I'm more likely to be like, but what about? Instead of like, yeah. I think maybe that's partly because I can't with that whole, like, I don't wanna be lying, I don't wanna say something I don't believe, if I pretend to agree with you, but I don't agree with one specific thing, I feel like I have to clarify that I don't agree with this specific thing, even if I agree with the rest of it, if that makes any sense. You should write a list of complaints and nail it to the door of the church. What's the worst that can happen? Oh my god. I know how to I can cook pasta, I can cook Japanese curry, I can make sushi, although I wouldn't really put any I can make, nani, what do you call it? Norimaki, in English, like it's the rice in the middle with the nori, seaweed around it thing. So that's why you criticize me for cooking. No, it's because you cook for an hour when you could just stick pasta on the stove for 5 minutes. Why would you cook for an hour when you can just cook in 5 minutes and be eating already? I'd watch a series of Dave showing you how to do things and you showing how to do it. He wouldn't come on screen. He's shy. Like he can be very entertaining once he's comfortable, but he's not going to do that publicly. He's very private. And nervous and stuff. I'm the random nutcase who just comes on YouTube and is like, "Hey guys, let's sit here for almost 3 fucking hours instead of watching Angel." Oh my god, it's 11 p.m. Oh, you sent me a panda onesie, a panda onesie picture. Onesies are not practical though. Like, I think the Pikachu one has like a bum flap, so you can go to the toilet more easily. But I think the dragon one, you basically have to take off to go to the toilet, which I have had to do out in the wild, and it's not fun. So, especially like they're kind of warm, so you'd only want to wear them in winter. But then you go into the bathroom in the middle of winter, and everything's cold, so you have to take it. It's not fun. No. I guess that's why it's mostly around the house pajama type things. But yeah. Anyway. No, I'm good at the academic stuff and technical stuff. And Dave's good at all the like practical life stuff, like having a proper job, like domestic kinds of stuff. In some ways, I guess we have like a gender role reversal. Like I tend to be drawn to more male dominated stuff like heavy metal. I also did like the audio engineering. I also did engineering, briefly, not long enough to get qualified, but that's sort of like math, science kinds of stuff. Whereas he did disability work. He's a teacher now. He's much better at cooking than me. Although you should see the stuff he cooks. The stuff he cooks is such a boy thing. And he plays a lot of sport and stuff. But some things. I mean, like I do the fashion now, so I guess that's made me a little bit more girly. I guess we just don't give a shit. We do our own thing, and who gives a crap what you're supposed to do? At least no one has to worry about you cooking the books. Honey. There's my jeans and my jumper that I just threw on the ground. Anyway, I'm getting pretty tired. Should we wait until it hits the 3-hour mark? Another 5 minutes. Okay, hit me with some quick questions in the last 4 minutes. And then, do I watch Angel? I'm going to be dead tomorrow anyway because today was bonsai day. So maybe I do watch Angel until midnight. And like, we're still adjusting to daylight saving time. Although I do have to wake up at 6:30 to do Hope's meds. So that's not fun. Come on, guys. Throw something at me. Favorite Buffy monster? Fuck you and your grapes in a bunch. There's none in the bunch if they're tasty ones, because I've already eaten them all. Favorite Buffy monster? I think I probably like Angel. I can't really think of anything else, you know? Is that too obvious? Is that too obvious if I pick Angel? Does he count as a monster? I mean, he is technically a demon. Um, he just has that pesky soul, and like, pesky soul gets in the way of all the fun. Um, Not that that's heaps relatable. I don't know. What about those silent guys who made people sing? I think that must be a later season of Buffy because I know the singing episode, if that's what you're talking about, but I haven't seen it in years, so I don't remember anything about it. Angel's too obvious. The Gentleman? What? Yeah, no, I have no idea. I've only got seasons 1 to 3 of Buffy because then it transitions into Angel. Popeye? Is that sailor who eats spinach? I don't like veggies, so. We've got 1 minute 30 seconds. Throw something more fun at me, guys. Because I'm gonna try really hard not to go on another tangent, but if you hit a bullseye, maybe I will go on another tangent. Who knows with me? I don't know what I'm doing. Stuff happens, doesn't it? Most embarrassing moment, that's difficult. Cause like most embarrassing moment. My memory's not good enough to figure that out. And like most of my life I sort of kept to myself, haven't I? And I'd probably just like if I am embarrassed about anything, it's usually like those random moments where you're not even sure if anyone noticed, but you're embarrassed anyway, and it sort of haunts you. And then when you think about it, you sort of like make a funny noise just involuntarily or like sing a tune because you're like, oh my god, embarrassing thing. No. Best starter Pokemon. I don't know, but I used to always choose fire Pokemon until I think that pig. And I'm like, pigs are meant to be put on fire and eaten. They are not meant to be the fire Pokemon. And so I think at some point I switched, but I did Charmander, Cyndaquil. Ever thought about learning psychology or body language as well? Yeah, no, I did a semester of psychology in my first attempt at uni, my first degree. Um, and social psychology is much more interesting than abnormal psychology, it turns out, because yeah, crazy people are crazy, but normal people are even weirder. Like the stuff that normal people do, the ways you can manipulate them. And body language, I've sort of looked into some things, and there are some things that occasionally I'm conscious of and you know, maybe use in real life. But I don't really come into contact with people that often, so there's not much need, is there? Anyway, so yeah, I like psychology is another thing I looked at. I think like, alongside that religion thing I was talking about where sorry, I should look at the camera, not the comments. um so yeah, like with the my search for some kind of belief to fill the atheism hole, until I sort of got over that and was like, wow, shit, hey. Uh, I think I also looked at psychology trying to figure myself out. Because, like, I've always been a little bit crazy, but also trying to figure out just like, what do I have? What do I do about it? Trying to understand myself. And then it turned into understanding weird shit about people. Phil Zimbardo is a fucking hero. He even looks like Satan, and he ran some of the weirdest experiments, the most fun experiments in psychology. How tall are you in feet? I don't remember, but I'm 165 centimeters. Is that 5'5"? I don't remember. I'm really not good at weird American measurements. I don't know why America is so insistent on the imperial system. Like, I thought America was all about the republic, and yet they stick to an imperial system, which is like, wouldn't you want to get away from anything related to monarchy? But anyway, 5-4. Favorite unethical experiment. Maybe one of the electric shock ones, like the one with the teacher, the authority figure one. 5-4, is it? Okay, thanks, guys. The ones where they keep shocking the person. They're told by an authority figure to keep shocking them even after it sounds like they're dead. That one's fun. But also I like one where I don't know if this was an experiment or just a story, but I think he went out with a bunch of students and they left a car in I think it was a nice looking car. They left it in a rich neighborhood and a poor neighborhood to see like how long it would take for it to get robbed. And in the rich neighborhood, once they parked it, like it wasn't long before someone came and stole the cassette player. And this is a long time ago, back when it was easier to break into cars, I imagine. And before they had those anti-theft devices. But yeah, no, and then people started like taking it apart and all that kind of shit. But I think when they parked the fancy car in a poor neighborhood, no one touched it, and they were watching it for ages, and they're like, well, maybe it looks too nice, and so no one really wants to have a go at it because they're like worried that someone's watching or something will happen or whatever. Maybe we need to ding up the car a little bit so that it looks a little bit trashier, like it fits in, and then maybe someone will start stealing with it. So they come along with a baseball bat, put a dent in it. I'm like, maybe it needs another dent just to, it doesn't fit in yet. So then put another dent. And this goes on until they're all like bashing the car, and they gather a crowd and all these people, and they all having fun bashing the car together. Like they were meant to stop so that someone would steal from the car, and they just ended up destroying their own car. I don't know how true this story is, but it's one I was told when I was studying psychology, and I think it was a Phil Zimbardo thing. It's fun to think about anyway, and I would like to do that because there's this like fundraising event called the Indian Bazaar. I don't know if it's still going, but like when I was younger, we used to go to the Indian Bazaar. I think it usually happens in September. I don't know. And one of the things they used to have is like someone would donate a shitty old car and you could pay money to go in and beat the crap out of it. I never did it because like by the time I got there, it had already been beaten the crap out of. So like, what can you even do? Like you can't, like if you hit it, no more dents appear because it's that badly bashed up already. But I was just like, that would be fun to do. Someone donate me your car so I can beat the crap out of it. Anyway, well, I went on a tangent. Way taller. No. I'm skinny though, so if you think about proportionately, if you're expecting me to be slightly less skinny, maybe you would assume that the thinness, proportionally, like when you take a thing in Photoshop and you just like proportionate, hold down the shift key or whatever. So like to make me wider, you would have to make me taller. I don't know. 50 foot tall, 5.9. Still good experimental data being gathered on groupthink. Yeah, well, you Patreon. Yes, buy me a car to destroy, but make it a shitty car so that I'm not tempted to keep it. Make it one that doesn't actually work, but mostly looks intact. One that can't be saved. And then we can have some fun. I just heard something in my voice, but I can't do it again. Anyway, I think that's it, guys. Let's end on destroying cars and just destroying everything. Like everything's gonna die anyway. We might as well speed it up, get it all over with. Like the world sucks. We might as well just, get Trump and Kim Jong, whatever he is now, and get this party started on a Saturday night. Everybody's waiting for me to arrive or something. Yeah. Join my cult, send me money and all that kind of good stuff. If I start watching Angel now, I'll be done by midnight. I haven't done any of my exercises though, so I think I will go and get ready for bed. Yeah. I was just thinking like, yeah, the car, a car with the coffin in it, the coffin itself, the dead body itself. Yeah. Anyway, no, I think I'm gonna get ready for bed, and then I think I'm awake enough that I can probably watch Angel. So I'll get everything ready. I'll watch Angel, and then I'll just fall into bed. And I think that's how I will do things. And tomorrow is going to be a write off, but I need to keep. Maybe I'll try and practice that song later if I'm awake enough. I think sometimes mild tangent. Here's my fake ending. I think maybe I might be one of those people who benefits from less sleep sometimes. I don't remember. I might have said this at the end of my commentary video for voices. Just go to a junkyard. I don't know where junkyards are in Sydney, and I don't think there's any close to me. I think you have to drive away, and like, who can be bothered to drive? um, sorry for shaking everything. I haven't played Street Fighter in ages. Anyway, no. What was I just thinking about? Oh, yeah. There was a study a while ago about sleep, or I think there was a study, and that shows a slight antidepressant effect from um, sleep deprivation. I don't think it works for everyone, but for certain types of people, a mild amount of sleep deprivation can create a short-term antidepressant effect. And I wonder if I might be that kind of a person, because sometimes I feel like when I sleep less, I feel better. But only briefly, because then you're so tired you can't do anything. Anyway, so that's that. Yeah, I'm gonna go get ready for bed, and then I'll maybe watch Angel and then sleep. Seems I should have been 4 half-hour naps per day. Isn't gonna go on for the rest of. It's not going on for the rest of the 4th hour. Look at me clicking end stream, and then it says, "Are you sure you want to end your stream?" And I'm gonna say end.